around late to that.
Man. I haven't worked home here in a while because the last two before Monday, we both got rained out, Covington, Front Royal, and then maybe only one game since College World Series, to be honest.
July 15 is the redo of the Covington. We're going to get a doubleheader. Doubleheader on July 15 will be Matt Weiss's birthday. He's totally thrilled to be here at the ballpark instead of off tripping the light fantastic somewhere else.
Is that the All-Star game day too? Is that the Tuesday? So.
Hey, that's the way it goes, guys.
Working the business.
That's right. This is about Terps baseball. Anything else you've got going on the sidelines, you need to stay on the sidelines. So get that straight. I noticed you're giving Matt some grief about how your Red Sox put the kibosh on his White Sox. Do tell.
Finally, I mean, last night they got away with one. They were down 4-0 in the 8th inning.
Matt's got bitter beer face. So.
Let the scoreboard do the talking. They got 3 in the bottom of the 8th. The rally bottom of the 8th was actually started by infield double. Red Sox started 5 rookies last night. I think it was the first time since 1987 they started 5 rookies, and Mookie Betts.
Well, my Orioles are so strong, they're just waving the surrender flag.
Yeah, they are. So, Mookie Betts hit a deep ground ball to shortstop. Shortstop threw it to first base. Second baseman was backing up first baseman. Betts was safe at first on the throw.
Kept on getting.
And then there was no one at second base, so he just beat the second baseman to a third base and got a double on a ground ball to shortstop.
Little league double.
Little league double, yeah. Speaking of which, the Bridgewater Little League's hosting the Virginia State Tournament next week.
That's terrific. Fun, so. Yeah, it's definitely terrific. I want to head down there and see some of that action, but definitely, I love all the baseball at all the levels. And we mentioned earlier, if some of you have tuned in, that Staunton Braves as hot as can be. Garrett Ford takes the hill for the Turks, and he said the Fords are in town to watch Garrett play.
They were this weekend. PA announcer Kurt Dudley said he saw them at the Harrisonburg July 4th festivities. I would think they would wait through the weekend, or through the week at least, just to see him start a game. Of course, he played in the All-Star game. He was on that roster, so they were here for that. No confirmed sighting today. We've seen the Bars are back in town. Seen some Georgia Tech stuff, so not sure which of the Georgia Tech guys.
It's Luray Caverns night here at the ballpark, and I know the first 100 fans got a free admission to Luray Caverns. So you got one.
I got mine.
So always a good deal. A lot to see over there at Luray Caverns. Actually, I like the classic car museum. Is always nice to see that they have that.
I may have been over there when I was a little kid, but haven't been over there yet. And I'm involved with Big Brothers Big Sisters program. My little brother randomly said I'd like to go to the Luray Caverns, so if I can get myself in free, it just makes it all the better. So we'll head there next week, and he was really excited. I think they have not a corn maze, they call it a garden maze, I think. Those are always fun too, so he was excited about that. So a lot of offerings there, like you said, the car museum, the garden maze, the caverns, of course. And,
definitely must
Luray Valley Museum.
For folks who don't get here often, I mean, obviously you're a JMU student, so you got more chances than the average folks, but definitely something worth seeing when you're here on the East Coast. Mentioned that the Turks are in second place so far, and it looks like a little bit more overcast than it was just even a couple minutes ago. So I think they're going to be all right. I see Kay and Boyd Snyder talking with Commissioner Lemus here on the first base side, saying hello. We had a heck of an event for the All-Star Games. Very happy to have so many folks on and put a voice with the name and the face for several franchises. That fans tuned in from all other teams. I couldn't make it all about Turks baseball. That would have been pretty selfish of me, so I decided to go 100% in the other direction and bring in as many people as I possibly could.
But we got the last laugh though with the win the MVP, right? So.
Yeah, that's true. And since then I haven't won these games that matter. So
yeah.
Harrisonburg at 17-9, and the last 3 seasons have been 30-win seasons and national rankings and all that kind of stuff. This is a team that's kind of struggling a little bit in spots, particularly defensively. 6-1 loss up at Charlestown last night. 3 errors, but really that was a game where the Cannons kind of showed that they're a terrific team. They've got some nice balance to them, so a lot of speed. They're going to run the bases hard on you. So there's a log jam of teams, say from the 3 to 7 area in the Valley League, and all of them are capable. In a 3-game series, anybody can beat anybody. But with these individual teams in the middle of the pack there, I don't see a whole lot of difference between them. And if they're in a situation to send their number one to the hill and get a victory in game 1, get that first road victory, then you push the higher seed to elimination. Then you've done something. So a 3-game series is such an equalizer.
Yeah, definitely. And like you said, ever since they've gone to the all 3-game series, you've seen a lot more upsets in the 5-game series. You used to not see that. But it'd be interesting to see how many guys with 8 of the 11 teams making the playoffs, how many teams just kind of save their ace for that first game of the playoffs just to get off on a good start. Like you said, I think Charlestown, right now everyone's just talking Harrisonburg for oil, but I think Charlestown might be a team to be feared, of course. During the Turks, really successful stretch they've had. I mean, it was 12-14 before they lost 2 in a row, so I guess you could say 12-16 now. 2 of those losses were directly to Charlestown. So,
a decent team.
Combined 1 run for the Turks in those 2 games they played against.
And this is Staunton is a team that not only are a high average first in the Valley League, but they hit for some power. You got Gunnar McNeil with 33 runs batted in, hitting .444. James Vasquez, the other bopper in the lineup, is the other A-plus bopper. There's several boppers in the lineup. He's come into town late, and he's already got 22 runs batted in after leading the Valley League in runs batted in last year. So if you look at RBIs per game, he's probably on the same plane there as Gunnar McNeil. He's got 31 less at bats, and he literally is on the same pace as they each have 3 home runs. So if there's 2 guys you don't want to beat you, I think that's Gunnar McNeil and James Vasquez.
Like you said, Hunter Thomas too. Second, Staunton has 3 of the top 4 averages in the league. They got 1, 2, and 4. McNeil 4-4, like you said. Thomas 387. Joey Rodriguez at 366, and then don't go much further down. You got Vasquez at 353.
Those 3 players have 100 hits.
Yeah, and then Radovian's got 297. So you basically have 5 or 6 guys hitting 300 or better. And a 9-person lineup. That's not too shabby.
Yeah, and what's your school of thought on that? Do you think that, and a lot of times teams will bunch their better hitters together, and that's how they always see it at the major leagues. But I know I've never minded a team that's got some depth having a guy down there at 6 or 7 who can hit one out, can hit 290 or better, and do some things. Because when you bunch them all together, that's kind of saying the bottom of my lineup is not going to do anything. So I better log jam the top of it.
I agree with you too, and I'm a big Tony La Russa fan. He's big on spreading out the lineup. He used to bat his pitcher 8, so you'd have someone in 9 hole to turn the lineup over. So I'm kind of don't just necessarily throw your pitcher in the 9 spot just because he's your worst hitter, but try and separate the wealth, separation of powers, if you will.
Yeah, if there's anything about the National League versus American League strategical part of it, I think that the National League manager has got more to manage, and he's got to have people on his bench who can do more things. That said, there's nothing I hate more than watching a pitcher try and hit major league pitching.
Yeah, and whenever I play on my PlayStation or whatever, I always like to play National League because you actually take some thought with double switches and whatnot. But my dad and I was in Denver at home this weekend. We were at Rockies game, of course, National League. We were just talking. Yes, it's just to see these pitchers hit, but I just don't get why one team doesn't just work with their pitchers hitting even one day a week, like the day after they're pitching, a day after they've made a start, they're obviously resting their arm. Do some kind of hitting lesson. If you could get your pitchers to hit 200, they all hit 150 or worse, so if you can get them all to hit 200,
and here's
all
the
more
thing.
Power to you.
When a pitcher contributes offensively, who's he helping?
So,
it shouldn't be a tough sell.
Yeah.
It should not be a tough sell and say,
to the pitchers, right?
If you can get me 1 base knock or 2 successful sacrifices, then it's a successful night. Because if your pitcher generates 1 run, I guarantee you his winning percentage would go up at least 33%.
And of course, there's been some pitchers that have hit very well recently. Of course, Micah Owings comes to mind.
Yeah.
He used to pinch hit for him, to be honest, with Diamondbacks. Mike Hampton, he played for the Rockies. He would always hit well too. But
Hampton's a Valley Leaguer.
He is. Okay.
Yes, yet another Valley Leaguer.
So
I think until recently, Mike Hampton had the largest contract ever signed by a Valley Leaguer, and he's been passed 4 or 5 times since then. But he's a left-hander who got a gigantic contract, either from the Astros or someone back in the 90s. But I want to say he was a Staunton Brave, but I'd have to really hit the rewind button on that. But I know that he played for Coach Bocock here in the Valley League. But we don't have to go back too far. I think Steve Finley got a giant contract too when he was a Harrisonburg Turk. Juan Pierre had a couple of good-sized contracts. And in the off season, two big value leaders that got contracts. One of them was Brett Gardner, got a huge contract with the New York Yankees, and he's having a great season. And let's see, there's one other value leader. We kind of count Craig Kimbrell as a Turk, even though he was on the roster and he one that got plucked out from underneath of us literally a day before the season was to begin.
Of course, not really a contract, but on the opposite end of that spectrum, of course, Brad Mills getting purchased for $1.
Yeah, now he's been designated for assignment. I'm not sure what happened with that, but he did okay for the A's. But once the big Jeff Samardzija and Jason Hamill trade went down, it's like, okay, I think even if one of those guys was brought in, the fifth starter gets bumped. When you bring both of them in, that was the double bump for some guys. But I think that the good news for Mills is that he has shown that, in particular, he can dominate left-handers. But he's got enough pitches to start, and I just think that, yes, he's going to always be famous as being the guy that got traded for $1, but the real smart people who know who gets players out realize that he's a major league talent, and I think that he's going to end up back in the major leagues with someone. It would be ironic if he ended up back with Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Because you don't necessarily say, well, they didn't want him, because the clause was in his contract, and it wasn't like when you look at the details of it, it wasn't a case where Milwaukee did not want him. It was a case where he had an out written into his contract where teams could come call him.
Or similar to the Indians, I think Brad Mills is still over there as the bench coach. Terry Francona's right-hand man. Of course, I just know that from the Red Sox. I think Brad Mills is back over there. And Brad Mills the player and Brad Mills the coach.
Starting to get a little bit more overcast here. And, we've got our lineups here. Let's get into our lineups. We're about 7 minutes from our scheduled start time, but I think we are going to probably have some trouble with the radar. With the Thor radar detection or a thunder and lightning detection system, or possibly some rain or both. But I got your visitors lineup here to start. Joey Rodriguez will be in center field, and he'll lead it off. Richie Ricciardi will be at third base when he's second. Gunnar McNeil at first base will bat third. Hunter Thomas in the left field will bat fourth. Tommy Williams, I just remembered Tommy Williams is back as well. He's not terrific player for Braves. Shortstop, J.C. Escara will do the catching. Bobby San Martin will be the designated hitter.
Jamie Zone.
Yeah.
Home game, if you will.
Yeah, home game, for sure. Elliot McCummings is in right field, and very athletic guy. Boy, this is a heck of a lineup. It really is. Jimmy Radovian will be at second base with that ninth. Blake Reen is going to take the hill for the Braves, and Reen is a big right-hander from Longwood University. So we got a righty-lefty matchup. I could have guessed righty when I saw the Turks lineup.
Back at the top of the order, as usual, we got Thomas Spitz leading it off, making his first home appearance since bringing home the All-Star. Monday they were home. That's right, I wasn't here. But my first time seeing Spitz since he won MVP of the All-Star game, followed by Christopher Barr out of Miami, playing right field. Of course, you said Barr's family is in town. Thomas Smith batting third and playing second base. Matt Rose, designated hitter, hitting cleanup. Eric Kaufleisch playing left field and batting. Playing left field and batting fifth. Daniel Nichols playing first base and batting sixth. Brandon Gold playing third base and batting seventh. Gold was 2 for 4. In the Turks game last night against Charlestown. Of course, only had 5 hits in the whole game, and he had 2 of them. Joey Roach behind the plate, hitting 8, and Stephen McLean back at shortstop, hitting 9th for the night. And Garrett Ford of Georgia State back on the mound tonight. Of course, he's been a rock out there for the Turks. 1.75 ERA, 4-1 record to go with 13 strikeouts and 9 walks.
And for Reen, got some numbers on Reen here. Yorktown, Virginia, plays Christopher Newport, which is Division III, if I'm not mistaken. That's pretty high. Always a good school there, Newport, particularly at football. He's an all-star. Is Reen. 2-1 on the season. 1.66 earned run average, giving up 17 hits in 21.2 innings. Those are all-star numbers. So 12 walks along the way. Good season going on for both of these guys. I think that the finesse lefty Ford going to get the ultimate challenge here. I think that when you look at a team like Staunton, hitting well over 300, you got to say, all right, we know they're going to rake the fastball. We know they're going to rake when guys come after them. What do they do against a finesse guy? This is really a good challenge for Ford, and it's also a good challenge for the Braves because when teams get the lead on certain hitters, stay away from certain pitches. This is a nice little chess match between the Braves and the Turks here tonight. But we got some breaking news there on former Turk Clint Robinson.
Yeah, Clint Robinson from Dodgers designated for assignment right now. Thank you to Matt Weiss for that little tidbit. We'll probably go into more detail about him being here and whatnot. But another guy is designated for assignment. So.
Yep, and that's two former Turks who got a shot in the majors over the last month or so, and unfortunately for both of them, they've dropped on teams that are doing extremely well. And for Clint Robinson, my read on him is that he's an American League player who's been stuck in the National League for entirely too long. I mean, he was with Kansas City. They never gave him much of a shot. He was with Pittsburgh in the minor leagues. They never gave him much of a shot. But he's a guy who's just absolutely set up to start against right-hand pitching and be your left-hand pitch hitter off the bench, play first base every third day. And when you use him that way and don't expose him to the lights-out righties, he's going to hit about 290. He's going to hit you a modest amount of 15 or 20 home runs in a reserve role. He's going to play a solid amount of defense. It's staggering to me that a guy with such tremendous minor league numbers has been in the minor leagues as long as he has. And I would say that even if he weren't a Turk, because I've made the same case for former Valley Leaguers that kind of mired in the minors for no reason when there's guys up in the majors hitting 220, hitting 230 with no power that are getting a regular platoon shot at a corner infield position in the major league. It just makes zero sense to me.
And like you said, you see that a lot. Especially, I feel like it's a lot of those guys that get picked up on waivers towards the end of the season. Joey McDonald comes to mind for the Red Sox when they got him. Duke has no power. I hit one home run every 10 years and hitting 230. Of course, Red Sox and Brzezinski down yesterday at the minors and gave a guy who makes Major League debut. Brzezinski, how's that for a veteran? I wonder how that makes him feel. But
well, I mean, he's literally
been a virus in the clubhouse. So.
Well, I think that a player that's like him is kind of a double-edged sword. You got to decide is that worth it or not. When a player like that starts to struggle, he can become a problem because he's used to being successful, and that's difficult. I mean, when you've had success, it's tough on the way up, but it's tough on the way down. And he really is a guy who needed that resurrection type of season.
Definitely. I think something to be concerned about tonight, too. Obviously, we talked about Stanton's very good hitting lineup, average-wise, but they also strike out the least in the league. So, obviously, defense has been somewhat of a weakness for the Turks this year, and Stanton's going to put the ball in play and put that defense to test. So, it's not just about Stanton getting on base via the hit, but also just getting on base any way they can.
Yeah, when you got a team that's got power and makes a lot of contact, that's a rarity. Usually it's one or the other. A lot of strikeouts normally come, a lot of swing and miss usually comes with a lot of power.
Their team average is 312. And the next highest team average is 275, and they have a slugging of 409, OPS 796.
And they've been at 303 or higher for about 3 weeks now. So very consistent, and that's an impressive number. So we were talking about Valley League records and all of that. I think that the 2012 season, it's already been decided that the live baseballs that were used in that season played a big part into things. But Winchester's 86 home runs in their tiny little ballpark still would have translated to probably 45 or 50 home runs here, which is an unbelievable number. Yes, they would have hit 2/3 of those on the road. They hit 12 or 13 here. They probably hit 31 of those on the road when you think about the way the ballparks play out. But that is still an incredible number. When you look at the fact that about 2/3 of that team of theirs all went professional. So they had like their 7-hitter got drafted. So guys like
Stanton Braves, you see something like that too.
They easily
offensively
could. Easily could. So it's good to see a juggernaut kind of team. I mean, the Turks. When you look at the pitchers that the Turks were slated to have, then you would have had the kind of year. The matchup 2012 was the top pitching team. I think the Turks were like 3rd in defense, but the top pitching team against by far the top hitting team, and the pitching ended up winning out. But that was a 5-game series in the finals. The Turks won it in 4, but 5-game series in the finals. I always like the contrast. I think for Garrett Ford, that's definitely the task tonight is to miss some bats against a team that hasn't had the bats missed too often.
And strikeouts aren't necessarily Ford's forte either. So
no,
I think it's only 13 on the year and 5 or 6 starts. So.
Yeah, the Turks defense has got to really put a 0 or 1 in that error column and make it manage the game. So it's red hot. Other ball games going on around the Valley League. Up in Strasburg, First Bank Park, the Express leading Waynesboro 1-0 bottom of the 4th. Bottom of the 3rd at Bing Crosby Stadium in Front Royal, Winchester. They're leading Front Royal 4-2. Turks are temporary Winchester fans. The real those Front Royal Cardinals back in a little closer. Scoreless ball game top of the 5th at Casey Field. The Road Warriors, the Albany Senators, have traveled to see the Covington Lumberjacks. That's about a 4-hour and 40-minute drive. So that's the longest trip in the Valley League. And I'm kind of surprised the way the weather played out that Covington didn't get nailed pretty good.
I was thinking the same thing. I'm surprised we're the only game that started with delay. I mean, in Strasburg, that's not that far. I mean, I guess it was going pretty direct west to east, but I thought it might get a fade in the corridor. But in Woodstock, for that, and Front Royal, you know, that 14 square there, you can't call it a triangle.
Yeah, Woodstock might have gotten a little something. That game is still listed as in the pregame with Woodstock and Charlestown, Kansas. They don't necessarily have their game live up to date like some of the other teams. We're close now for our national anthem. Just a couple of minutes from our start time here. Garrett Ford, the left-hander from Georgia State. His 2 tosses has the luxury of throwing to his college teammate, Joey Roach, behind the plate. Around the infield for the Turks, third to first, Brandon Gold at the hot corner. Stephen McNeil at shortstop. Thomas Smith at second base. At first base tonight, Daniel Nichols just returned to town to play last night at Charlestown. A valuable left-handed bat. He had some knee issues, and now he's back. Good to see him. He's a right-handed thrower, but a left-handed hitter. And I think that he's a guy that's got a little bit of pop, and we can see that what we've been missing, because he's a nice player, plays at the University of Georgia. Anytime you've got these big school guys, you know they've seen some real pitching. I'm not going to be too impressed with some of the upper end arms here. In the outfield for the Turks, Eric Kelfleisch is in his usual left field spot. Thomas Spitz, ditto to that. He's in center field. Out in right field tonight is Christopher Barr. He decided his left-handed swinging lineup as much as it can be for the Turks here. One thing I wanted to start, Joe, is just to have fun with it. I think both of us should write the name of a Turks player on a piece of paper and then just put it upside down, right between us here in the middle. Our pre-game prediction on player of the game.
I like that.
Something fun to do. So at the end, you can turn it over and say I was a buffoon and a fool, or I was just a soothsaying truth teller.
You need a piece of paper?
Yeah,
let's do this.
Let's do this. Let's do this.
Got me thinking when you're talking about nickels, the Sharks just like to raid those Georgia State schools. Of course, they're represented with Georgia, Georgia Tech, and Georgia State.
Bob will ride that horse until it runs out of gas. You can be sure of that. He likes those good relationships. Leading off for the Braves, Joey Rodriguez. Right-hand swinging center fielder. First pitch pops the glove in there for strike one. Baseball time, 8:21 Eastern Standard Time. Next pitch misses inside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Next pitch is fouled back to the screen. 1 ball and 2 strikes. A little bit overcast. I sure hope that is going to miss us. If it slides a little bit southeast, it will. Hit out toward right field pretty deep. Going back is Christopher Barr, and it's up at the base of the wall. Barr gets it in quickly. Overslid the bag a little bit in there. Second base with a double. Nice opposite field power is Joey Rodriguez.
You go right off the bat. The offense gets going. Hit the base of the wall there in right field. If Barr was going full speed at that, he may have had a chance, but more conservative play on the ball there to start things off.
Tough one. Definitely kind of puts you in no man's land to start there. So
yeah. Ford's going right to the stretch from the start.
Richie Ricciardi now, third baseman. Bunted. Ford is up with it. So first is in time. Ultra small ball for a lineup hitting .313. I am more than a little shocked by that.
I definitely am too. Like you said, a lot of power. They do rank towards the bottom and towards the middle in sacrifice hits. They're three-way tie for fourth with 18 sacrifice bunts.
Comes Gunnar McNeil, and boy, all he needs is another ribby chance. There's a fly ball toward left center, way deep. Out there and on the base of the wall, really carrying, so coming home easily on the booming double.
That was fast.
Rodriguez scores that easily. See, that's why I'm not in a hurry to give away one of my 27 outs. So Gunnar McNeil hits one to the base of the wall, and boy, is the ball carrying here. That just seemed to get another 30 feet. I didn't see it coming there. He tagged that.
McNeil's leading 34th RBI on the season.
That is a round tripper in every park except Eagle Field. Hit that a ton. Here comes Hunter Thomas now. The only out so far, the Braves handed over by way of sacrifice. First pitch is high to Hunter.
They're only aiding that team average of 312, of course, so far in the game. They're hitting 1,000.
Neal with a short lead at second. Ford gives him a glance and deals. Foul off third base side. 1 ball, 1 strike. Thomas from Johns Creek, Georgia. Georgia Southern, how about that? 1-1 pitch missed. A little high and outside. Yet another all-star. Braves really put up some numbers. While Thomas has just 1 home run and 10 RBIs, he's hitting .387 with 29 hits. So, table setter. Popped up third base side, and that will get out of play. I guess when you're going to hit behind Gunnar McNeil, the bases are going to be clear fairly often. McNeil, he's in scoring position now, but he normally have already driven guys in. He's standing at first or hit the ball out. There's not much left for Hunter Thomas to drive home.
With the Braves' big offense, surprisingly, there are not personal league in runs. Front Royal scored 175 runs, the Braves at 172, and it's a big drop-off. John Covington with 153.
Chopped out towards second base. Smith has got it. Throw to first is just in time. Good play by Smith. There's been a lot of high choppers. A ball game on Monday, we had high choppers like crazy. Lots of hard, compacted dirt underneath the turf here. Infielders have got no margin for error. 2 outs now. Here comes Tommy Williams. Big out here for the Turks. 1-run surrender and a whole lot better than you would have expected. Swung on, got a little piece of it out in front. The ball's in 1 strike. Williams is a second-year Staunton Brave. I believe Williams was an all-star last year. 1 home run, 11 knocked in, 281 for Tommy. North Palm Beach, Florida. Fastball inside corner for strike 2, no balls and 2 strikes. Plays for Central Florida. 0-2 pitch, low and outside. Roach handled it. The turf is nice and slippery here. We got plenty of rain. Things will get absorbed eventually, but around the edges of the mound, you can still see it's a little bit wet. 1-2 pitch, grounded out towards shortstop. McLean has got it. Well, first is in time, so Joe, the Turks have got to be pretty fortunate, considering a few pitches in, it was 1-0.
Got like 1 run. 1 run there. I think Garrett Ford will walk away with that one, especially the way they started, kind of settled in as the inning finished right there.
Back in a minute, Turks head to the bat rack, Staunton in town on top, 1-0. Thomas Spitz going to lead off here for the Turks. 1-0 Staunton Braves. Spitz from Westchester, Pennsylvania, in the midst of a very strong season. All-Star MVP. Blake Green deals. First pitch popped up, foul right back behind us. No balls and 1 strike.
Blake Green attends Longwood from Yorktown, Virginia. Attended Grafton High School. Played basketball for 4 years and was a state runner-up as a senior in Virginia Group A, single A.
Fastball pops the glove high. 1 ball, 1 strike. Spitz at .308 for the season. 2 home runs, 10 knocked in, 9 steals as well.
That was basketball. He was state runner-up, state semifinalist for single A.
Shots out towards second base. Going to be a tough one. Taking backhand side. For the first is just in time. Good play out there at second base by Jimmy Radovian. Those high choppers are a challenge. Here comes Christopher Barr now, left-handed swinger from the University of Miami.
Right fielder number 17, Christopher Barr.
Green deals. Hit high out toward right field. Pretty good carry. Going to be caught out there though. Got it kind of on the end of the bat, and Elliott Cummings had no trouble circling around on it. Kind of a clunky sound to that one.
Definitely. somewhat of a good baseball sound. I mean, not solid contact, but just some good sound waves coming off that one. Probably hear that one on the broadcast. Turk swinging early in both counts.
Yes, kind of out toward the end.
With Spitz's first pitch, he made the second pitch, and Morrow's first pitch.
And I think that that's one of the main differences between the Turks this season. One of the differences is this is not really a work to count group here. Thomas Smith is here. Digs in, takes a strike on the outside.
Smith the one with the game with like reached base 6 times, 4 walks or whatever.
Yeah, he's definitely a work to count guy normally, especially when you begin to build it in with some runners. Ground ball out toward third, gobbled up on the ground. Throw to first is in time. Silent play once again. Richie Ricciardi got a third. Went down to a knee. That was hit from 5.5 hole. Good defensive play. 3 up, 3 down for Harrisonburg. Good win for Blake Green and the Braves. Back in a minute. Top of the second coming at you. Top of the second inning. Casey Escara will lead things off, and it looked like the Braves are going to send a whole lot more than 5 hitters to the plate in the first there initially. Comes Escara doing the catching tonight, left-hand swinger. Line drive out towards center, and Spitz will have to play on the hop. I think he could have gambled and maybe come to try and make a diving catch on that, but he could have also given up an inside the park home run try.
Especially with the deep center field here, and they play so shallow.
So the Braves are jumping on strike one, because you know that Garrett Ford and most finesse pitchers, they want strike one. Braves are jumping all over it. I mentioned they're low on strikeouts. That might be one of the reasons they're jump early in the count lineup too. You can't strike out if you don't even see 3 pitches.
Yeah.
Comes Bobby St. Martin now, which is high for a ball. More and more players are really making more and more the local high schoolers who are good. Evan Hannafy from Turner Ashby High School comes to mind. He's going to be going to James Madison. Chris Huffman, who's now playing professionally, he's going to Brave, and he's a James Madison guy.
Yankee, what's the guy's first name? Yankee, the pitcher for Turner Ashby.
Eric Yankee.
He'll be coming here.
Eric Yankee becoming a left-hander.
Of course, Ty McFarland had his first professional home run last night.
Good for him. He's been doing great.
He's been raking the ball
yes,
there.
He has.
He actually hit it in Lowell, which is the team I covered up there, so I got a text from my friend. He knows him. Bleed purple and gold, so we got that home run last night for the Staten Island Yankees to beat the Lowell Spinners. Nice little single-A Red Sox-Yankees rivalry.
There's a strike on the inside corner. Now, when you and Matt were going back and forth about your Red Sox-White Sox tete-a-tete, I didn't think you Red Sox fans had any hatred left that you could even point in someone else's direction.
They're trying to steal our socks, right?
At
least it was some color in it, right?
But you were all done with that. No more hate to give. Quick throw to first, and Escara is back.
Of course, Ty McFarland playing the New York Penalty. I think a few J&E folks are going to head up to Aberdeen to the Orioles affiliate, Calgary Canadian team, try to see him play.
Well, it'd be a good time to do it because Dylan Bundy is there on rehab for the Orioles.
Okay. Yep.
So you might see Mr. Bundy throw. 3-1 pitch is outside for a ball. So get a leadoff single and a walk. And Joey Roach says that's not going to work real well. Let's head to the mound and get things worked out here. Give the Braves an inch and they will take a mile. The Turks and the Braves, the one ball game that I saw down there at Gypsy Hill Park, 3 line drive double plays to the first baseman that the Turks hit. I've never seen anything quite like it. The Braves got a 1-run win, and it was just nutty play after nutty play, and nothing went right for the Turks that night. 4 deals, and McCummings nearly got hit by that one. I think Ford was trying to make it a challenge for him to bunt, but nearly hit him.
I like that from Ford, though. I don't know why enough. I feel like a lot of times we know when guys are going to bunt and whatnot, and pitchers just kind of laid in there. I know you don't want to walk them, but make it a difficult bunt. Throw a curveball or something that he might get under and pop up, but don't just lay it right in there for him.
Yeah, I agree, especially if you have confidence to throw a strike when you're going to throw a ball. Running down third base side, Gold is up with it, and his play will be to first. The Braves have handed over two of their 4 outs here, but you can play small ball. You got guys that can rip it. Jimmy Verdovian now.
5-4 for those scoring at home. Smith coming over to cover first base as Nichols was charging in on the bunt there.
It's really the rare person that scores a ball game now, and then this current generation, people, they look at that grid and they're like, what is that?
Yeah.
Don't even know. There's a strike to Verdovian.
As we said, the Little League tournament's going to be in Bridgewater down the road. I'm on the planning committee for it, and they're having trouble finding scorekeepers. They asked me to score some games too, and I don't know if that's just because we don't know how or what. I'm guessing it's, like you said, just dying.
Grounded out towards shortstop. McClain is up with it toward first, and sliding in for reasons unknown was J.C. Escara with 1 and 2. Just wasn't sure what McClain was going to do. Escara just kind of kept his head down and kept coming. So the on-deck batter's got to let him know you're good to go.
Both teams are swinging pretty early in counts here. These 2 runs for the Braves seem kind of quick, if you ask me. I mean, they're just getting batters up there and getting batters on base and moving them over and getting out.
If you trade 2 outs per run, you're going to end up with 13.5. I'm not sure how that works out, but pretty nice trade. First pitch missed outside to Joey Rodriguez. So a runner at third base with 2 outs. One more run in here for the Braves. Hit out toward left center. This one's going to be playable, though. Eric Kelpfleisch makes the catch, so the Braves put a single runner up, and they're just fly away. Manufacturing some runs, so Staunton is doing what you'd expect them to do, a team that's hitting .313. So bottom of the 2nd coming at you. The Turks are going to need some runs here tonight. How I got to feel it. Back in just a minute. Daniel Nichols here in the Turks' 2nd. Blake Rooney getting some run support from his Brave teammates so far. Fastball pops the glove for strike 1. No balls and 1 strike for the All-Star Rose. Green deals way outside, short hop the plate there as well. Looks like we're going to dodge a liquid bullet. We're doing all right weather-wise. I missed us. 1 ball, 1 strike. chopped out toward third. A high chopper got a weight on it. Rose doesn't run exceptionally well, and he is thrown out. Richie Ricciardi on the play once again. We actually need a fair amount of rain to soften the field up. But for these guys who hit the ball down and run, there's some infield hits to be had.
Cool the field off too. It can be hot turf with the rubber pellets in there, and just it really holds the heat. I was out there playing on the turf during midday here. It was pretty warm and hot out there down there at University Park.
All one outside. Pretty good fastball there by Reed. 1 ball, no strikes. Reed to Kelfleisch. Missed outside. 2 balls and no strikes. Kelfleisch starting to warm up a little bit, inching up toward the 300 mark again. Fastball fouled back. Good heater down and in. Kelfleisch can really handle that down and in. He seems to be able down and in and up and out. If it pitches up and away, he'll hit the left. Down and in, he'll jerk it and pull it. Way outside with the heater. Reed's got plenty of gas on that fastball. There's no cure for balls. And the higher the baseball level you get, the tolerance for throwing balls gets lower and lower and lower. You walk 2 guys in a row in the major leagues, good chance someone's on the top step coming for you. There's ball 4 to Kelfleisch.
First base runner of the night for the Turks. Of course, we always love to hear where you're listening in and give you shout-outs, or if you want to give any shout-outs, feel free to chime in. Just send us a tweet here in the broadcast booth using hashtag TurksNation. It's hashtag TurksNation. Hashtag TurksNation, whatever you want. And love to hear from you and give you shout-outs. Let us know where you're listening from, what you're thinking, whatever's on your mind.
Just the Nichols swung on and missed. Good heater and a big cut there. Nichols is trying to tie this thing with 1 swing. To throw to first, and Kelfleisch is back.
Nichols just 1 hit so far, and to be his 4th appearance of the season. 7 at-bats. Number 8 right now at the plate.
The 1 pitch. Low for a ball. 1 ball and 1 strike. Cummings in right, playing fairly deep. The air's gotten kind of dead after having a little bit of a gale here earlier, but very still right now. 1-1. He hard out towards second base. The second for 1 on to first, a double play. 4-6-3 double play. For Govian to Williams to McNeil, and that quickly, the Turks' little uprising is over with. And for the top of the 3rd inning here, the Braves are in town and on top. They're trying to stay hot and keep the Turks cold. 2-0 Stanton Braves here so far.
All right, folks, how are we doing tonight, Turks fans? I think we can do better. How are we doing, Turks fans? I do a little better. Tonight we have the fast food race. We have Trevor in the hamburger, Brady in the french fries, and Brian in the
It's off. 4 deals. Breaking ball stay a little bit high. 1 ball and no strikes. There's a strike on the inside corner. Nice little sweeping slider, a running fastball there. Strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Turks looking to put their first 0 on the board. Rays have a single run in the first and second. Chopped right there, foul to plate. Roach popping up, hopefully trying to get a cheap out if that stayed fair.
Who was it the other night? Was it some catcher? Was it Kurt Suzuki who foul tip went off his glove and he still went over and caught it? It was a weird foul tip situation. Wasn't.
Liner into right field for a base hit. So Ford left it on the outside corner trying to nibble. Great piece of hitting by Ricciardi. You can certainly ground that to shortstop if you try and pull it. But, most hitters are most dangerous when they just take what they have in front of them. See all these teams playing the giant shifts in the major leagues. It seems that when a player hits opposite the shift, not only does that guy get on, it leads to a big inning. I see it a lot.
3 innings and 3 leadoff hits for the Braves.
Fastball fouled right side out of play. Not a bad trend. Good piece of hitting there by Ricciardi. Malapan, New Jersey for Ricciardi. Gunnar McNeil now. Hit a booming double. He's only seen 2 pitches and swung them both in the game. Fastball stayed up high. 1 ball, 1 strike to McNeil.
McNeil's dad played golf in Kentucky and is currently a PGA professional.
Got a little bit of hand-eye coordination in the family there. Just to
see where that comes from.
1-1 pitch, way outside. McNeil's from Windermere, Florida. 6'1", 230, good-sized kid. Florida International University. I guess his coach would be Turtle Thomas at FIU.
Cardi, not much of a threat to run at first, only 1 steal in the season.
Breaking ball just missed. Ford was nibbling like he needs to do, but that was just a shade off the outside. That's a pitch he needs. He needs that edge, but that was a ball. 3 balls, 1 strike to McNeil. Not where you want to be. 4 deals. Inside for ball 4. Ford is trying to go up and down and in and out and everything but the middle of the plate. That's his MO. He's just missing on the edges so far. So runners at first and second. Nobody out. Here comes the 4-hitter, Hunter Thomas. Considering the way things have gone for the Braves, small ball has worked so well, you might even do it with the 4-hitter here.
Thomas isn't much of a power threat. He isn't that 4 spot as just square.
First pitch missed inside. 1 ball, no strikes.
Doesn't run 10 RBIs. Almost has as many walks as RBIs. 9 walks, 10 RBIs. Ricciardi has 15 walks and 7 RBIs, so nearly double the walks he does RBIs.
1-0, chopped down toward first and threw into right field. Seeing high single. Everybody moves up 90 feet. Good job by Barr to charge it and get on it. But that was just an equal amount between Nichols at first and Smith at second. Just eluded both gloves and it scored it into right field.
A good piece of hitting there for Thomas as well, because if anything, he was just trying to get the ball to the right side of the infield, and it's not by way of the bunt, moving runners over 1 base each, and definitely have that approach to plate to hit it to the right side. And I think he not necessarily was looking for a single there, but it got its way through there and just out of the stretch of Nichols and just out of range of Smith.
That's how it goes. That's the definition of a seeing eye single there. So quick visit to the mound by pitching coach Jason Kuhn. Tommy Williams up there now. Bases full of Braves. And if the Turks are going to put a 0 on the board here in the 3rd, they're going to have to come up with maybe their first double play of the game. And Ford not being a strikeout pitcher, that makes it even more difficult. He's not getting too many outs by himself.
Hopefully the infield's going to be back here, but wouldn't be surprised if they didn't bring him in just to prevent any further damage. And not, although we've seen the Turks offense doesn't really get behind or
Yeah,
distraught.
yeah,
They can have
Turks
8
are-
right in the next inning. We could beat.
Yeah, the Turks are very, very much a big inning team. The Braves have scored have some big innings, obviously, as well. The Braves have been far more consistent than the Turks have. The Turks have put 2 on the board one night and 13 the next. Pitch to Williams is low for a ball, and really the thing that's eluded Ford is strike one. He has had a difficult time getting strike one, and in the first inning, the Braves just ripped everything that he threw in the middle of the plate. There's a strike on the inside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike. Got to coax yourself a ground ball or a pop up or something like that. Ford is a pitch to contact guy. 1-1, grounded down towards third. That's going to get into left field for a base knock. Shelf flashes up. Everybody moves up 90 feet, and the Braves have another run here. 3-0 Staunton. Joey Roach gives Ford a little slap attaboy, and saying, okay, I know it's not going right for us. All the ground balls are finding holes here. The unforgiving side of baseball showing its head to the Turks and Ford early. Here comes Escara now. Ford deals, missed way outside. Escara is also a Floridian from Hialeah, Florida. 6'3", 215. He's also from Florida International, listed as a catcher, first baseman. Missed outside. No action in the Turks bullpen, but when the pitching coach is headed down there, I think that's about to change. Normally you'll just say, okay, I'll put my hand up and whoever was due out of the bullpen first. But he's going down there, deliver a message and talk to that next guy. And the 2-0 pitch hit foul, third base side back into the screen. 325 for Juan Escara. He too was an all-star. Turks had a season, I guess it's probably been about 3 or 4 years, where we were about 2/3 through the season, and 7 out of the 9 guys in the lineup were over 300. The Braves are looking like that too. Right out towards second base to McLean for 1 on the first for 2. So swap the double play for another run. That's a trade the Turks willing to take there for now.
Yeah.
So 4-0 ball game. The RBI double play ball. Comes Bobby San Martin. The 2 outs and a runner at third for the Braves. A run in the first, a run in the second, 2 here in the third. And this is Braves baseball.
This is Garrett Ford's 6th game.
The fly ball out toward right field. Barr is back, squares off, and he makes the catch. Hit pretty well. San Martin gave it a pretty good ride to right field. It ends up being out number 3. So Braves have a very nice MO going here. All parts of the lineup are doing a little something for them. So 4-0 Staunton Braves headed for the bottom of the third. Turks are coming in on a 2-game losing streak. They need to rally here tonight. Turks baseball 2014. Bottom of the third inning, Brandon Gold is going to lead it off here. Gold, Roach, and McLean are due. Reading deals. There's a strike on the inside corner at the knees. If he can put one there all night, he's in business. That's in the unhittable zone.
One of your favorite phrases, he can pitch that every day. He's a Hall of Fame pitcher we're looking at.
He is. Missed outside this time. 1-1 pitch. There's a nice glove popper on the outside corner. Amazing how you give a guy 4 runs and his tempo and his confidence and all of that. He can just be easy to throw. Turks have got to break through that.
Working very fast.
1-2 pitch. Slider had the plate, but low. Nice bite on that one. Green wanted that one. I think it's about 6 inches low, but a real nice action on that slider.
Green has an interesting windup too. Real fast windup, kind of herky-jerky. A lot of quick, abrupt motions in it, especially with his low kick.
Next pitch missed outside, so Gold has battled back here.
Gold hitting .256 on the season in 21 games.
Check swing foul, right side. Remains 3-2. Turks got to grab that Braves blueprint, get the leadoff guy on, and see what kind of inning you can really build. 3-2 pitch again, strike 3 called, fastball right down the middle. I think Gold was looking for maybe that slider or some kind of off-speed pitch again.
Really good pitch, just really crisp fastball. Not much movement on it, just a straight fastball, but it got him good tempo on him, good speed.
Yeah, in contrast to the other pitches that he thrown, it was just perfect.
And it was a good curveball he threw the pitch before. So
here comes Joey Roach now. See if this Georgia State Panther can help his teammate in both places. First pitch misses outside, 1 ball, no strikes. I believe that was inside. Might have been high. Joey's not a skyscraper of a guy. 1-0 pitch for Ream to Roach. Grounded down toward first base. Underhand covering 1-3 scored. Gunnar McNeil flipping it over to Ream covering. So 2 up, 2 down.
Really sound PFP there between me and Reem as the baseball goes, pitching, fielding practice.
They practice that one to death.
As I've seen a lot more. I don't know if I've just noticed it more this year in the major leagues. A lot of pitchers not getting over and covering about how difficult it actually is. I mean, it is a decent far run for the pitcher to get over to first base, and you got to be quick. You can't think about it on the mound. You got to go over there once you see that ball on that side of the infield.
Second nature. I can definitely remember getting yelled at enough in high school for not getting over fast enough. 1-0 pitch to McLean. Now he's going to switch baseballs. McLean's been really making a lot more contact, starting to get that average creeping up. I think the Turks are still trying to find another middle infielder to give McLean a break there at shortstop. Monday night, he had a heck of a night. Just twisted the ankle and the knee and the whole thing. Swung on and might have gotten a piece of himself there. 1 ball, 1 strike. Swung on, fouled off that front foot. McLean, the last few ball games, just had a tough time. He's been the ice pack guy. Actually might have got himself on the left shin, rubbing the middle of the shin there.
We can get another baseball again there too.
Coach Weiss coming down to see if he's all right. I think McLean is he's as frustrated as he is hurt because he's just been dinging himself up lately again and again, which can go in bad stretches. Trainer's out taking a look at him now. Kind of looking around still.
Didn't look that bad live, but like you said, it could just be a mix of frustrations of both performance and just the prior injuries you talked about.
Yeah, I don't think he's probably got a tender ankle and a tender knee to go along with whacking that foul ball off of his shin. 1-1 pitch now. Breaking ball in there for a strike.
Beautiful pitch right there.
Very nice.
Started out over the plate and curved to just the outside corner for the call strike. Another pitch that we're very successful with. We can locate that often.
1-2 pitch, fastball swung on and missed. Dropped by the catcher. Throw down the first for out number 3. So Turks without a hit here through 3. And it has been 100% Braves here so far. But no one ever won a baseball game in the 3rd inning.
The Turks are the ones that tell you that, too.
Yeah, they are. The Turks have had so many games where they appear to be absolutely lifeless, only to wake up and roar by people. Ask the Woodstock River Bandits. No question about it. Was that bizarre or what?
Still can't get it for that. I was thinking about that the other day, how that night you and I just, even 9th inning, you were just like, this really just happened.
Oh, it was 8-1. I think the team had 3 hits. It was just absolutely
lifeless.
It was Morgue-like. And then they just went absolute 180. How about if we just come back and drop 8 on the board and then follow that up with 5 more? Four more. Absolutely crazy. Good time to take a look at some of the scores in the other ball games. Some of them. We got a later start time, so that's the game's further along. Top of the 7th, up in Strasburg, the Express are putting a 2-1 lead over the Disney Rainforest Generals. Bottom of the 5th at Bing Crosby Stadium in Front Royal. Winchester 7, Front Royal 5. Turks looking for Winchester. Front Royal there. 1-1 ball game at Casey Field in Covington. Top of the 7th there. Albany and Covington are tied at 1. And we still have no report from the ball game at Woodstock. Charlestown Cannons in town.
Green, like you said, bottom half of the inning. Turks have been no hit, but they've also only sent minimum to the plate. The base runner was Cal Flash, who got on by a walk and was quickly erasing a double play by Nichols. So Turks have only been 1 through the lineup, and the Braves about to, their number leadoff hitter will be up for his 3rd time in this inning. So 8-9-1.
6 hits for the Braves, won by 6 different players. Comes Elliott McCummings now.
And there you go. That's just right there. The production we talked about, top to bottom. It's not 3 guys getting 2 hits. It's 6 guys getting 1 hit.
Fastball missed up high. Still don't see anyone throwing down in the Turks' pen.
Cummings from West Deptford, New Jersey, was 2013 Junior College All-American.
Pitch missed outside at Potomac State. Turks have had no John Vallon pitched for the Turks, big 6'9" righty. He was from Potomac State. There's a fastball. 2 balls, 1 strike to McCummings. 260 on the season for Elliott so far. 1 home run, 9 knocked in. Foul ball off to the right side. Hey, when you look at the top 4 or 5 guys for Staunton, you're looking at just the top 10 in the league kind of numbers, but there is a pretty big fall off. So that's very similar to the ground ball out to the right field through there for a base hit. So base hit for McCummings. And the leadoff man just seems to be chained to first base for the Braves.
They've got 4 innings and 4 leadoff runners to make base, and 7 guys with 1 hit each for the Braves. They only have 7 hits.
Oh, yeah.
They might get, our starters might get a hit before we're through 6 innings.
Well, this is such a cruel game. When things are going good for you, you can sometimes fall into that. And when things are going bad for you, you can, it's such a mental thing. It's like, how happy do we get when things are going well, and how sad do we get when nothing's going right?
And Radovian, who's up now, is one of the guys without a hit, and the only other one is Bobby St. Martin, and St. Martin even reached base by walk. So 8 or 9 guys have reached base. Radovian alone to not.
Fastball in there for a strike. Got a high strike call there. 2 balls and 1 strike.
Radovian with some baseball in his blood. Dad played baseball at Vanderbilt and Georgia Tech. His uncle Dan played for Brevard at Columbus State and was drafted by the Yankees in 1990. Played for the Cardinals in 1993. And another Uncle John played at Georgia Tech and was drafted by the Giants in 1990.
There you go. Baseball. Good genes there.
They got the baseball genes and the golf genes on this team.
2 balls and 1 strike. Cummings with a good-sized lead over at first. 1 pitch misses, rolling outside. Cummings is leaking off first a pretty good amount there, and I know Joey Roach with an unencumbered throw with a right-hand hitter up there. I would expect Roach to say hello to him, gunning one down at first from his catcher spot here soon.
Cummings does only have 2 steals on the season, and he's been caught 0 times.
High for a ball. 2 balls and 1 strike.
And chilly again in here, because the air cooled outside with the rain, and we can't control our air conditioner.
The meat locker.
Yeah.
Guess who the meat is? 2-1 pitch is high for a ball. Roach tried to frame it downward. It'll be 3 balls and 1 strike to Radovian. Got a righty throwing down the Turk's pin now. See if we can't get you a number. There's a strike by 4, 3-2.
As I mentioned to Dave during the break, this is Ford's 6th start on the season, and 4 of those starts he's only allowed, 3 of those starts he's allowed 1 run, and another start he allowed 0, and all those games he allowed 1 run. All the runs were unearned, but he does have 2 starts.
There goes the runner, 3-2 pitch, hit out towards center field. Spitz gonna have to get on his horse. Straight back makes the catch, and his throw will come back toward first base. See if they can get the runner off, and the throw's a little bit offline. Nichols tried to stay on there. Would have been a heck of a play, but Spitz not able to make that accurate throw from about 250 feet away to get McCummings. McCummings had gone all the way around second base and touched second on the way back, which you have to do.
Back to my comment, though, this is Ford's 6th start. He's at 3 starts where he allowed 1 run, and all those runs were unearned. Another, if you said the All-Star game where he let up no runs. But then he has 2 starts where he allowed 4 runs, 2 of them earned, and 6 runs, 5 earned. Both of those starts against your Staunton Braves.
Not a great matchup, in other words, so far.
Only earned runs he's allowed all season have been against the Staunton Braves, and that's 4 more tonight.
Pitch to Rodriguez. Move it under the armpits, 1 ball, no strikes. 1 out, 1 on for the Braves. Soft tossed at first, and McCummings is back, and the Turks we were looking for any kind of 0 they can post on that top line, and then to get off the 0 schneid on the bottom line.
Although we talked about Ford not being a strikeout pitcher, he only faced 1 batter in the All-Star game, and he struck out that 1 batter.
Swung on and missed. Good change up there. 1 ball, 1 strike. And Rodriguez way out in front. Braves not necessarily a team with a boatload of speed, so if you can get them to hit ground balls, you can get some outs. But they got a lot of balls that guys look like they put the ball in the air. Go to first again, and McCummings is back. More often than not in the Valley League, you always have a team that is just the offensive juggernaut of the league. And I can't remember for the life of me the last time that profile team won the Valley League. Ground ball, diving play by Gold, throw to second is just in time. What a play by Brandon Gold. That one had eyes for left field, as so many of the balls squirting through have. He dove, got up, threw to Thomas Smith, his college teammate from Georgia Tech, just in time to get a sliding McCummings in the second base.
Risky play there. I thought he'd just go on to first for the sure out, but nice job to cut down the lead runner.
Well, you gotta pop to your feet. You know, you just got up off a wet field, and that shorter throw looks pretty good at that point, I would think. Pitch to Shardy is low for a ball.
This is sort of feeling like that Woodstock game we referenced earlier. Woodstock just kind of put up 1 run every inning, kind of for the first 4 or 5, maybe even 6 innings. Can't remember exactly, but so far the Braves have scored in every inning.
There goes the runner. Pitches way outside. Roach can make a throw to second. Skips into center field. Roach got rid of that extremely quickly. It was a great pitch to run on. Ended up blowing outside. Roach got rid of it so quickly that the middle infielders didn't have a chance to get there and cover. Heck of a try. So stolen base number 2 on the season. Excuse me, I'm not for Shardy. Rodriguez.
Rodriguez was a top 1,000 player nationally by perfect game in high school.
Pitch missed. 3-0. Stolen base number 16 for Rodriguez. Strike on the inside corner. So he represents the speed side. The Turks, many of the Turks should be familiar with him. He's from Wake Forest. We have a boatload of Deacon. Grounded out toward first base and through into right field. Christopher Barr will come up with it. Soft toss back into the cutoff man, Nichols. So if anything, Barr in right field has gotten on the ball quickly and kept guys from scoring easily on base knocks to the outfield. So with 2 outs now, Gunnar McNeil is going to come to the plate, and the Turks pitching coach, Hume, is going to head to the hill. I believe that's going to be all. I mean, with the exception of 2 or 3 ground balls, every other ground ball has found the outfield on a couple of hops.
Definitely Garrett Ford, as he is taking out of the ball game right now. I mean, he wasn't necessarily getting rocked. It wasn't line drive hits. Just the way the game goes.
The 2 doubles,
right?
The 2 doubles, yeah.
But some ground balls just squeaking their way through and making it into the outfield.
Yeah, Coach Weiss is meeting with Garrett right now as he heads off the field. And it's just one of those things where you say, you didn't get a thimbleful of luck tonight, kid. And that's just all there is to it. And when you factor in the fact the Braves are darn good, and they're going to get 7 or 8 hits off of you if you pitch deep into a ball game anyway. And a couple of those are going to be big flies and all that. So really, it's an opportunity now to slam the door. You got runners at first and third. Brett Morgan, right?
Yep.
Right hand. Wingate University, returning Turk. Morgan out of the pen. Morgan and Honda really the most steady of the pitchers, and because of the rainouts and the All-Star break and all that type of stuff, we got a lot of guys in the bullpen who have haven't pitched much lately. So I would expect them to be good and fresh. Certainly need someone to slam the door here. Comebacks are about zeros, and that doesn't make sense because people are like, no, comebacks are about runs. It's like, no, but if your guys keep giving them up and not getting zeros, then you can put up some runs and still get beat. That's how you get that 10-9 game.
Has been nearly a week since Morgan last pitched. Last appearance was July 5th against Front Royal. That was last Saturday, and his last appearance before that wasn't until June 29th, and that 13-8 win over Woodstock. So he's only pitched. It's only be his 2nd appearance in the past nearly 2 weeks, 11 days.
Well, this Turks team seems to need that tempo and routine, and a couple of 5-game winning streaks. I think we've had 2 5-game winning streaks. They've been kind of in consecutive runs, and it's when you've got that rhythm and routine, even if it involves a daily bus trip. That's been better for the Turks than the layoffs. So runners at first and third now. Gunnar McNeil, the hitter. Fastball high for ball 1. Ricciardi at first. Rodriguez at third. Ricciardi with just 1 steal. This is a good opportunity to run. Fastball very high. 2 balls, no strikes. Hunter Thomas on deck for the Braves. 4-0 Braves. And the Turks have a tough customer to try and get out here. Neal already 1 for 1, came in at 444. There's a strike on the inside corner. Pretty good 2-0 pitch. 2 balls, 1 strike. I think the Braves will probably keep Ricciardi nailed down at first and not take the bat out of McNeil's hands. Slider in there for a strike. Great looking pitch there. 2-2. Morgan's got really a nice 4-seam fastball. He's got the kind of stuff that he could blow McNeil away if he's not looking for it. 2-2 pitch. That goes the runner. Breaking ball missed. Throw down towards second is not in time. Scored it out of Thomas Smith's glove just enough. Staying at third base there was Rodriguez. I think if he'd known it's going to score it out of Smith's glove, maybe he scampers on home, but you just don't know that. Got to assume he's going to make the catch and would have had an easy return throw to the plate to get you. 3-2 pitch. Hit hard, little blooper to right field is going to get in for the base hit. Broken bat single to right. And in a nutshell, that has been the Turks' night, Joe.
Yeah, it had some decent mustard on it, decent line drive, despite the broken bat. And also, you just wonder, again, looking back to that stolen base, that Smith had held on to that ball. Ricciardi slid past the bag, of course, not used to the all-Turk field here.
Well, with the runner at third, your main concern is to get possession and get your eyes on that runner and find out what's going on.
Second hit tonight for McNeil, and his second RBI, 2 for 2 with a walk, single, double, or triple home run shy of the cycle.
This is looking exactly like the Woodstock game that the Turks staged the 12 unanswered run rally.
And I give you credit too. I mean, you called this kind of from the start. You said, I'm not liking the way this matchup is with Ford.
No, I didn't like the matchup.
I mean, this offense is just exactly what we said. I mean,
and I didn't know
ifs or buts about it.
I didn't know that the numbers with Ford and a wild pitch on the very first pitch to Thomas. And run number 6 into the Braves. That was got to be handled by Roach. I think that was one that probably hit the ground an inch or so in front of where it skipped under his glove. That's one that's got to be handled there.
Definitely.
So that's one to be scored a wild pitch and probably more of a pass ball. So 6 runs on 9 hits now for the Braves. 1 ball, no strikes to Hunter Thomas. McNeil's down at second now. Fastball is high. 2 balls and no strikes.
River Bandits had 6 runs, 6 runs through 4 innings in that game. We keep referencing the 13-8 comeback win for the Turks, 6-0 lead. That's what the Braves have right now.
Little flare ground ball out toward third. Gold is up, and it's got the runner hung up between the bases and puts the tag on him. So Gold decided, I'm not going to throw across the diamond when I got a guy who's running right at me here. So out number 3 recorded on the base paths, but 2 more runs in for the Braves. Staunton is getting the job done here tonight. The Turks have been held hitless. So headed for the bottom of the 4th inning, 6-0 ball game. Staunton in town and on top. But in the back of our minds, I know the Braves are probably unaware of it. The Turks have put together some gigantic innings and comebacks this year. So definitely can do it. Back in a minute with more Turks baseball. Thomas Spitz will lead it off for the Turks. Went around on that offering. 2 balls and 1 strike to Spitz. Top of the order, that's Spitz, Barr, and Smith. Blake Weem kicks and deals. Chopped foul right there in the batter's box. no balls and 2 strikes. Bottom of the 4th inning. One team has arrived here tonight, and the Turks are the team that hasn't yet. Fastball in there for a strike. Wow. That looked a little up and a little out. And Spitz has a slow walk back to the dugout saying, oh.
Say it, Dave. You get that pitch, be a Hall of Famer, right? You got
that pitch every time. You get that one, you're going to Cooperstown. No question.
My professional opinion says that was a ball, probably.
Slider low for ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. It's a great 0-2 pitch because it's right there on the edge where even if a guy makes contact, he's probably fouling it back.
You make both the umpire and the batter make a decision on that one.
1-0 pitch is low for ball. 2 balls and no strikes. Christopher Barr, he had a pretty good swing on one last time. Ended up being a fly out to straightaway right. Two 2-0 pitch to Barr. A little bit low again. 3 balls and no strikes. I think as Barr works the count a little more, as he develops more, he's going to become more dangerous deeper into counts. 3-0 pitch, way outside for ball 4. So the Turks have a base runner, second run of the night. Still looking for that first hit. This is is a team that got 8 hits in a row up at Aldi one night. So.
And with 7 base runners in a row in that Woodstock game, it was all hits, but no hits. Got 2 walks tonight.
It was all hits at Aldi, and the Aldi announcer said that. Quick throw to first. He said that Matt Rose hit the longest home run that either one of them had seen in the history of that field. So the runs still count the same, whether it's great for the ball on the way out or not. Green comes set, deals to Smith, ground out towards second base. The second for 1 on the first, and he's safe. So they got Barr at second. A double play ball per se, but they had to handle it just right. Jimmy Radovin at second, and a little flip there to the shortstop, Tommy Williams, and it just didn't leave enough time to get Smith. I really think if Radovin had taken it to the bag himself, he might have had a better shot at it.
Or if Radovin had maybe just taken down a quick flip out of his glove. He kind of used the glove to flip, which kind of sometimes takes some heat off the ball. And that right there probably takes the Turks out of just the minimum amount of batters. Of course, double play would have kept the Turks at the minimum through 4, but they got that extra base runner on with 2 outs.
Here's Matt Rose. Slider in there for a strike. Green really hasn't thrown that slider as much as you'd think, as good looking a pitch as it is. The ball's in 1 strike to Rose. Turks looking to keep a pulse here and get it going. Green comes set. 0-1 to Rose. Fastball in there for a strike. Now that's a strike against a guy who's 6'4". 2 balls and 2 strikes. Smith leads first. Ream deals the 0-2. Strike 3 call on the outside corner. Rose has a word or two with the home plate umpire, and this is frustration for the Turks as much as it is not liking the call. So
yeah, it was close being outside, but I mean that was a beautiful pitch. Beautiful
good
0-2 pitch, because again, you either make the batter or the umpire make a decision on that one. And when you're going well, the umpire just human nature just tends to side with you. That's what happens when you're just throwing a great game.
And he's hitting the target. That's an 0-2 pitch that is perfectly executed. Top of the 5th inning coming at you. Staunton on top of the Turks. 6-0 here so far tonight. Tommy Williams, J.C. Escara, and Bobby San Martin for the Braves here in the top of the 5th. Fly ball to deep left center field. Ball forward caught by Eric Kelfleisch. Williams just missed giving it a long ride. 1 pitch, 1 out for Brett Morgan. Yeah, the ball game with Woodstock, I'm sure that in 5+ decades of baseball-related this and that, I'm sure Coach Weiss can remember a larger comeback. Fastball foul back to the screen, no balls and 1 strike. But that was definitely the tale of 2 ball games. And the Turks are hoping for, even if something bizarre like that were to happen again, where Harrisonburg were to stage a giant rally and win this game, well, that would be just a little too cardiac.
Yeah, I don't know if I could.
With the team's MO. Can we really be asleep for 5 innings and then get double-digit runs? Slider, missed low for a ball, skipped by Rhodes, by Roach. 1 ball, 1 strike to Escara. Fastball pops the glove outside. 2 balls and 1 strike. Final line on 4 3 2/3 innings, 8 hits, 6 runs, 2 walks, and no strikeouts. Foul ball straight back, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Two-two pitch. Swung on. Foul tip into the glove for out number 2. Morgan's got pretty overpowering fastball slider kind of stuff. He's a prototypical middle reliever. And really, he can work as a closer, but I think that he and Anda, in terms of just straight up talent, top of the heap for the Turks, I believe. Here comes San Martin now. Fastball missed outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Elliott McCummings on deck for Staunton. Fastball very high. 2 balls, no strikes. Yeah, that one hit him, so Morgan really having some control trouble. It's like San Martin got it on the upper arm on the front. That'd be his left arm.
Like we said, 7 of the 9 Braves have gotten hits tonight. San Martin's one of the 2 that hasn't, but he's reached base twice by walk and by pitch. Just as good as a hit, as the old saying goes. Walk is just as good as a hit.
You only say that when you get hit with a little glancing blow like that. So here comes McCummings. Two outs and 1 on. Morgan deals. High. He's consistently been high. High for ball 2. So Morgan is uncharacteristically struggling here. Roach going to go out and meet with him real quick. 24 strikeouts in 20 innings, 15 walks. So that's not a great ratio, but the strikeout, more than a strikeout per innings, that's really what Morgan can get when he's in the zone enough. 2 balls and no strikes. Fastball, high for ball 3. So definitely a mechanics type thing when you're missing in the same way over and over. Morgan from Mooresville, North Carolina, right in the heart of NASCAR. Right there, right? 3-0 pitch, high for ball 4.
If I'm not mistaken, I think Mooresville is where Earnhardt and I guess now Waltrip Enterprises are.
I believe
think
so.
They are.
I believe so. I'm not enough of a NASCAR fan to know the geography, but Mooresville is epicenter of the whole darn thing there. Comes Jimmy Radovian now.
Yeah, Dale Earnhardt Incorporated in Mooresville, of course. Dale Earnhardt Incorporated only lasted through 2009. I believe it's Waltrip now, right?
That was the big split.
Yeah.
Little Junior and Mama.
Yeah.
Exactly. They'd love a nice soap opera down there, for sure. 1 ball, no strikes to Radovian.
I think Junior still calls Mooresville home, to be honest.
Fastball, high for a ball. Any consolation, Morgan definitely hit 90-something with that anger fastball. He's back behind the mound, going to rub it up like a wild man. You know, if you ever get a chance, Joe, and you listeners out there, look up Al Hrabosky, Hrabosky, Al Hrabosky from Mad Hungary. If you want to see a pitcher go behind the mound, have a tantrum, rub it up. Next pitch missed outside, 3-0. We'll have to look it up. It's a clumsy name to spell. Some of his videos from back in the day, absolutely hilarious. 3-0 pitch in there for a strike. Pitch for the Cardinals and the Royals. Al Roboski, the Mad Hungarian. 3-1 pitch in there for a strike. Morgan saying, all right, let me take a few miles an hour off this four-seamer and see if I can find the square down there. 3-2, couple of runners on for the Braves. There they go, and it's high for ball 4, and the bases are loaded.
Dovian's first on base tonight, so now all 9 batters have reached base for the Staunton Braves, as there is some action down there in the Turks bullpen.
Top of the order, center fielder, Joey Rodriguez.
Here comes Rodriguez now. Braves have scored in every inning. Fastball, high for ball 1.
I believe it's Brian Castellanos out there warming, but
there's a fastball in there for a strike about thigh high. 1 ball, 1 strike. Yeah, I believe that's correct. Castellanos from Indiana. 1-1 pitch. Popped up. Shallow right center. Playable by the second baseman. Smith is under it and makes the catch. So 3 runners stranded for the Braves, and mercifully the first 0 of the night.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. Celebrate that if you can.
Celebrate good times come on. So that's the bottom of the 5th inning here. Been all Braves, and boy, that is for sure. 6-0 Staunton so far. Turks looking for their first hit, first run. Got to get those things if you ever have any thoughts of mounting a comeback here tonight.
Baseball fans can have ticket stubs for a free hot dog from Sam's Hot Dog Stand in Harrisonburg, located at 910 West of Moore Street. Winning numbers, last 3 numbers are 802 and 824. 802 and 824. Now with those 3 numbers, come on up here to the press box.
Do you have anything you want to do on Hey Joe?
Have it today in history.
Okay, that's good. I'm letting this play for a reason. There you go, Joe. Start it over.
Yeah.
Started it over. See that? Not a problem. Eric Kell place. Gonna lead things off. Green deals, missed way outside. I figure maybe let's start over our intro music.
Maybe get something going.
Just say, hey, Turks, get a little something going here, fellas. 1-0 pitch. Hop down the left field line, going to be playable by the third baseman underneath the foul territory and caught. There's Ricciardi on the play. So 1 up, 1 down. Here comes Daniel Nichols.
From the Georgia Bulldogs, first baseman Daniel Nichols.
Fastball just missed on the outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Brandon Gold on deck for the Turks. 1-0 pitch. Foul straight back. Good cut by Nichols. This is one of the first nights of the season where the rain leading up to game time definitely chased the crowd away. We've been pretty good. Though we've had some rainouts, we've been pretty good with the crowd sticking.
Personally, I'm still surprised when people did come out, because it was a 50-minute rain delay, but people love them some Turks.
Next pitch is low for a ball. And 17-9 after a 5-5 start, that's a lot to get behind. 17-9 on a 2-game losing streak. So
WHSB was here as well.
Hop foul, third base side out of place.
TV coverage for the Turks.
2 balls and 2 strikes to Nichols. Regardless of the sport, if you're on the good end or bad end, even when you're up a lot, you still want to play good, fundamentally sound, have good at bats and good innings and all that. But players can get a little sloppy on lopsided ball games. Ground the ball right back up the middle. Ream made a good play. That had eyes for center field. Good job by Ream. Not only keep his little clean sheet alive, but good job, because that was clearly going to get through the middle. The middle infielders wouldn't have had a shot at that one.
Things are going the way as a pitcher. The ball seems to find its way in your glove too.
Well, and everything's fine in the outfield. And the Braves offense doesn't need a break. They make their breaks. Comes Gold, man. Slider swung on and missed. Brandon didn't look fooled on it, but it's a good pitch.
Yeah, like you said, he's not throwing it that much, but I don't think I've seen the Turks hit one squarely at all tonight. I mean, they did not have much squarely in general, but that slider, I don't even know if it's been touched tonight.
0-1 pitch now. Came right back with it, in there for a strike. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Keeps that low. It's one thing you want to do with a breaking ball, and don't leave that hanging.
Good, sharp slider.
Talking about with a fastball right here.
Fastball in there for a strike. Outside corner. Good pitch there by Reed.
Pitching it backwards for the K. Wonderful job pitching.
Yes. He looks like a guy that only a couple of runs of support would have done the job. So nice work. Headed for the top of the 6th inning. 6-0. Staunton Braves, and this is a good time for us to replay the starting music. I try to get the game going. Turks are still got a few outs to work with here tonight. But let's talk Hey Joe action. What do you got for us? Let's talk about?
We haven't done a This Day in History in a while, so I looked up some This Day in History. July 10th, 2001. That was the All-Star Game day in 2001, of course, Safeco Field. Many things happened that day, of course, because it was Cal Ripken's last All-Star Game. They moved him from short to third, and that whole review with Alex Rodriguez.
He was the MVP.
Yeah, because he had the home run. Yeah. Tommy Lasorda, right, getting taken out by the bat and falling over graciously at third base.
Yes.
But to this day in history specifically, Derek Jeter became the first Yankee to homer an All-Star Game, along with Cal Ripken, obviously homer in 42 years, when he went deep in the 6th inning off of John Lieber at Safeco Field, like you said, in Seattle. And before that, Yogi Berra was the last one to do that. In the All-Star Game in 1959.
That's a big gap.
Yeah, for the Yankees. And I bring that up, of course, because All-Star Game's coming up, but also because it'll be Derek Jeter's last All-Star Game. I mean, just man of the game. You can argue if you want whether or not you think he should be starting the game.
Well, the 2 chief rivals of the New York Yankees are your club, the Red Sox, and my club, the Orioles. And when we
say they're good,
when we have no issues with Derek Jeter.
Same thing with Mariano Rivera. I'll be honest here. Before I moved to Boston, I actually was a Yankees fan. I was Derek Jeter for Halloween 2 years in a row.
Wow.
Yes.
That's a nugget you probably should have left in the bag right there.
Yeah. But definitely look up to him. Just a great player.
Don't say that in South Boston. I'm just telling you. Don't say that in Southie. That'd be a big mistake. You might have a few problems there. So. But no, I think Derek Jeter's one of those players that you're like, if I had 4 of him in my roster, don't we win 110 games every year? And you got to figure, I've got 1 at second, 1 at short. I'll turn one of them into a center fielder. The other guy, I'll figure out what I'm going to do with. But we're going to win a lot of games.
Much like Cal Ripken, I think, of course, the different Hall of Fame voters have their different opinions on first balloters, but I think he'll be one of the ones that's up there with 98% or something on the first ballot, extremely close to being 100%.
If there is a Yankee bias, which I know there is, for coverage, he will certainly get in. Line drive, base hit to left field. So 1 pitch from Morgan deposited in the left field by Richie Ricciardi.
6 innings, 5 leadoff hits now.
So here comes Gunnar McNeil, and McNeil has come up with men on base again and again and again and again. Got to have Kay Snyder on for the All-Star game, and breaking ball in there for a strike, 0-1 to McNeil. And she was a very good guest, as most of our guests definitely were excited to come on and say hello. But she definitely is. The Braves have had big offensive clubs through the years. Slider grounded down towards third, taking a 1 hop by Gold to second for 1. On to first, a double play. How about that? That ball was blistered, and Gold just took it on 1 quick hop and turned it into a double play. That's the opposite of the seeing eye hit. That's the bullet that turns into a deuce.
And more importantly on that play, the Turks retired Gunnar McNeil.
Finally, for Gold, that ball was hit so hard, he definitely got it in the webbing. Because if he got it right on the palm, you'd have seen a grown man cry there. First pitch missed inside.
Castellanos is now in the game for the Turks, his second appearance on the season. 3 innings in that first appearance, gave up 5 hits, 2 runs, both earned.
Down and in for a ball there.
And did get the loss in that one game.
2-0 to Hunter Thomas. He's got a good live fastball. 2-0 fastball in there for a strike. 2 balls and 1 strike. Tommy Williams on deck.
Game on Monday, he got the loss in, of course. The Turks came back and tied it 4-4. Ended up losing that 6-4.
Strike 2. Inside part, just under the letters. No one's going to do anything with that. Maybe somebody that plays for a paycheck is going to do that. No one that I believe is going to touch that pitch. 2-2 pitch, 1-1 miss. Good work by Ryan Castellanos. And that's the smash there at goal to turn into a double play was literally the only thing that's going right for the Turks the entire night. How about that? Staunton has put it to the Turks. So headed for the bottom of the 6th inning. Turks headed for the bat rack. Staunton on top 6-0. Bottom of the 6th inning, Joey Roach will lead it off for the Turks. Japanese beetles flying in the window here. He's some kind of monster movie or something. First pitch missed outside, 1 ball and no strikes. Blake Ream throwing a gem and then some. Turks just wanting to get that string of goose eggs off the board. Hit hard in the right field. That's a base knock.
There goes the no-hitter.
If there's ever a wry applause, that was it from the Turks fans. Here comes Stephen McLean now. I think it's really important that a team on a 2-game losing streak like the Turks gets back to playing good baseball, regardless what the scoreboard has to say, because that's more important whether you win this game or not. Green from the stretch for the first time. No, actually the second time. Fastball in there for a strike. No, it had 2 walks. Yeah, that's right, 2 walks. So Roach at first base broke it up. 1-0 pitch to McLean. Chopped foul, third base side, and got himself on the, chopped it off of his shin again. See, a lot of the players have to have moments like this so they will finally say, I do need one of those little strap-on protector plates because...
The ankle pad is the one pad I'm okay with hitters wearing. Now you get the old...
And I used to do exactly what he's doing right now. Fly open and foul it off my front foot.
See, when I played, I don't ever remember fouling one off my foot. It was just my type of swing. I
was a lousy hitter. I was a lousy hitter, so that probably had something to do with it. So certainly McLean on a first-name basis with the Turks trainer, whose name escapes me again and again. Neil, from Advantage Physical Therapy.
He's back. He was gone. I was on vacation last week, so he missed him for a few.
1 ball and 1 strike. To Stephen McLean. 1 on, nobody out. Bottom of 6. He's done back in there now. Slider just missed on the inside edge. I think a lot of the hitters just freeze on that pitch, especially early in the count. got such good action. Green comes set, deals the 2-1, way outside with the slide piece there. McLean is from Los Altos, California. Just turned 18. How about that? In April. 3-1 pitch is in there for a strike. Bottom of the knees, fastball. 3 balls, 2 strikes. 1 home run, 9 knocked in for McLean. He's at 247. He's done some nice work the last 10, 12 days to get there. 3-2 pitch. Hit hard, but right into one hop into the glove to the third baseman. Throw to second for 1, home to first. A double play, quality double play. Taken down there at third base by Richie Ricciardi on just one extremely short hop. And that certainly put the runner at first, Roach, in no man's land. Because if it's caught on the fly, you could get doubled off first. Taken on a hop, hit that hard. They still had time to get McLean.
First finally get their hit and base runner and quickly retired. That's another thing Ream's done a good job when he does get those base runners, inducing those ground balls. Every base runner has been followed with a ground ball.
Shot down foul, third base side by Thomas Spitz. The ball's in 1 strike. So he still did 1 over the minimum.
Yeah, 1 over the minimum. And that 1 over the minimum could have easily been retired on the double play. 4th inning, he faced 4 batters.
0-1 pitch fouled off the right side now. Good live fastball there. No balls and 2 strikes. I had a no-hitter when I was a sophomore in high school. I had a no-hitter in the 7th inning. And we not only lost the no-hitter, and I say we because there were 2 errors behind me, we lost the game too. Fastball missed inside. Ended up being a 1-hitter and we lost 3-2.
My best pitching performance, I don't know how many hits I let up, but I held the best team, dominant team in the league. One of their players now plays at Northeastern, which is Little League. The 2 runs, we lost 2-1. But
Yep, those are the kind of games that you remember. Chopped out towards second base. Spitz is digging it out, and just in time. Good hustle by Spitz. Adobe on the play for the Braves. So Blake Ream gives up his first hit of the night. Got right back to the dominant Rays there. So first with no runs on 1 hit here through 6 innings. Blake Ream has been the story. Rays offense, of course, given what their offense does. Absolute dominant effort on both sides. Here for the top of the 7th inning, standing on top of Harrison, 6-0. Baker's now in the game at second base. Thomas Smith slides over to his right, and that will put him at shortstop. Stephen McLean, I think, has got too many dings and bruises in a 6-0 game to risk going any further. So his night's over, and he's going to have a love affair with an ice pack, I believe. First pitch is fouled off hard right side by Williams. No balls and 1 strike. Ryan Castellano still on the mound for the Turks. Need to see if Ryan is related to the major leaguer Castellanos.
I think he is. Remember, I remember doing that more research and doing tweets talking about that.
Nice.
His brother.
Okay. 2 balls and 2 strikes now to Williams. This is a good night for us to get into our human interest side of baseball. What do you think? 0-2 to Williams. Liner and caught on the fly by Gold. Ball had eyes for left field once again, and Gold little kind of a slow motion dive there because that ball curled and dipped a little.
His brother Nick is in the Tigers organization. He's rated as the #1 prospect right now. Plays third for the Tigers. I guess I don't know how much of a prospect he's considered anymore.
He's the number one prospect.
But this offseason, he was considered the #1 prospect.
I wouldn't think you fall too far. J.C. Escara, the hitter now.
This season for the Tigers, yeah, he's been playing on a regular basis. 268 batting average, 6 home runs, 32 RBIs. Did make his major league debut last season, but only had 18 plate appearances. So.
Breaking ball stayed a little high and outside. We had I'm trying to remember his first name. Popped out toward left field. Kel Fleisch is coming in, and he makes the catch for out number 2. We had Jack Posey here, Buster Posey's little brother from Florida State, and it was one of those things where it's like, okay, well, if he's half as good as Buster, he's gonna be, But Jack was an average player, and you realize, okay, well, Buster is that special.
Buster's a good story too. Sports Illustrated an article on him. Grew up in the boonies of Georgia. True, just lived on a farm, and so grew up with an old rickety truck and just good old Southern family on a farm.
Breaking ball in there for a strike. Bobby St. Martin, Elliot McCummings on deck, and Jack was here with another good young player, Parker Brunell from Florida State that year. Breaking ball in there for a strike. The other Turks connection to Buster Posey is Scott Cousins. Scott Cousins is the player that ran into Posey. Slider swung on and missed and broke Posey's lower leg. And that's kind of, unfortunately for Scott Cousins, who's been in the major leagues for 3 or 4 seasons, that's kind of what he's remembered for, despite the fact he'd been in the major leagues for 3 or 4 seasons.
And for that, that collision is kind of what changed the catcher blocking home plate rules too.
Yeah.
And of course, that's again been modified this year after there was an incident in a Mets game earlier this season.
1 ball, 2 strikes to San Martin. Slider 1 hops the plate. I'm completely against the run over the catcher stuff. I just, this is baseball. It's not football. Guys do not wear that kind of equipment. The runner can get hurt just as badly as the catcher can. Just not worth it. 2-2 pitch, a 3-2 pitch missed inside.
I was going to about to ask if he was bringing back. He definitely leaned into that one.
Leaned into that one, and he's going to get called back.
But he had 2 hit-by pitches in a row. It did San Martin. Of course, he got that pat on that elbow, so it didn't hurt him at all.
It's like Coach Lossie's going to come down from third and ask for clarification. He did lean in a little bit. Well, you can't go down to first with a giant smile on your face either, and then think.
And no pain. I'm surprised there's even an argument. I thought from here it was clear, and I was actually going to make a comment. I'm surprised they didn't bring him back.
When I say he leaned in a little, I'm being nice.
Yeah.
So it's 3-2. Castellanos deals. Ground ball out towards second base. Baker has it on 3 hops to first in time. So 1-2-3 inning for the Turks. That's not a misprint. I did not, just how about that? It has not been the way the night has gone. 7th inning stretch time. Turks were really going to give themselves a deep hole here. That was the goal, and there they are. Mission accomplished. So 6-0 Braves. Bottom of the 7th coming at you in just a minute. Bottom of the 7th inning, and that's about the quickest half-inning turnover we've ever seen.
Especially with the 7th inning stretch involved.
Barr bunts foul, no balls, 1 strike. 2-3-4 for the Turks. Christopher Barr, Thomas Smith, and Matt Rose. Turks looking for a fire starter. Put together a nice little inning here. You can either get back in the game or find your mojo in a loss or whatever it might be. But the show goes on night after night. You want to get back to playing well. Next pitch missed outside, 1 ball, 1 strike.
I believe this was the inning the Turks did their 8 runs against Woodstock. 8 runs will be nice here.
1-1 pitch, high and outside for a ball. The word unlikely comes to mind, but not unprecedented.
As you said, if we can just get into the Braves bullpen, although no one's warming.
2-1 pitch is high and outside. Good job by Barr to work the count a little bit. He's battled some lower leg injuries as well during his redshirt season since his injury last year, shoulder injury. He's put on some weight. 3-1 pitch is outside and draws another walk. I think that he is definitely an interesting guy because I can see him as one of those guys that maybe showed up in Miami as a drop it and run, kind of bunt and run speed player, but he's just in a different body right now. He's still got 3 years of eligibility left. I think he could develop into a guy with some pop. And something you wouldn't have seen coming without that red shirt year where he really got 25 or 30 pounds bigger. There's Thomas Smith now. Fastball low and outside for a ball. I would think the Braves have a pretty short hook on Ream, I would think. I know no one's throwing right now, but I would think if he runs into some trouble, especially if those troubles are control related, you're going to say, all right, he's done all he needs to do. He's proven it. Pushing him deep into a game is pointless.
He's only had 70 pitches, too. He's worked very efficiently.
No, to me, he's looked differently the last couple of hitters, though. He really has. 1-0 pitch, high for a ball. You're not going to win or lose the Valley League by giving him 2 or 3 more innings here right now. It's going to get a visit over from his first baseman, McNeil. He's smart enough to sense what's up, too. I mean, McNeil even flashed a glance at the bullpen.
Yeah. And there, someone goes down and running for the Braves. Probably to send a nice little message.
I think if you look at McNeil closely, you'll see his little earpiece, and he's listening to Turks baseball as intently as any visitor ever has, or maybe any visitor ever has. 2-0 pitch. There's a strike. I know McNeil said it worked there. Christopher Barr at first base, 2 balls and 1 strike to Smith. Blake Ream comes set. And he deals. Low and outside. 3 balls and 1 strike. So he's going 3-1 on back-to-back hitters, and I think that's a first. I just don't think it's happened all night.
I think this is the same part of the lineup that led off that inning against Woodstock. I remember making a comment about here's 2, 3, 4. This is the inning we need to do something.
It was Smith. Now that you mentioned it, was Smith that led off that fiasco. 3-1 pitch popped up straight back. Good pitch by Ream. In baseball history, there's a couple of guys in baseball history that have homered twice in the same inning, but there's also, I don't remember who it is offhand. There's someone who hit 2 grand slams in one inning.
I don't think it was the same inning, but Bill Miller, the Red Sox, comes to mind too. He hit 2 grand slams in one game from opposite sides of the plate against the Rangers. I think it was 2004, switch hitter. It wasn't the same inning, but one from the right side and one from the left side. He was either the first or second guy to ever do that.
Serious pitch. 3-2 pitch. Swung on, foul tip. Great live fastball there by Ream. Battle back and we get Smith for out number 1. Thomas had a nice big healthy cut. So good job by Ream to find himself there against Smith. We're going to get a visit to the hill. Still no one throwing in the Braves' pen. I think that has everything to do with what you mentioned, the low pitch count. Looks like Green might have tweaked himself a little bit. He's sort of flexing that right leg, and now he's flexing the torso. All it takes is landing funny a time or two. Quick meeting is over with. I think lights out in the Braves bullpen. Somebody's about to pull the chain and start throwing down there. If not, they're a little more adventurous than I give them credit for. I'm not going too deep with a guy who's already done what he needs to do here tonight. Comes Matt Rose now. Barr at first. Hit hard but foul, right side. Rose can really get the bat quick through the zone with a nice flat bat. You think about a guy that's a power, in quotes, hitter. You think dead pull. He really does slash it all over the park. His prospects going forward are very good because he's not so predictable as a fly open pull hitter. 0-1 pitch way outside. Good work by Ascara. This little hockey goalie slide and block move behind the plate. One ball, one strike. Pitch to Rose. Popped out toward center field. Called for and caught by the Braves center fielder Rodriguez. He throws all the way back to first, trying to catch Barr napping.
Ball hit a mile high there.
Yes, it was. Comes Eric Kelfleisch now. 2 outs and 1 on. Still just 1 hit for the Turks in this game. Reem, the All-Star, is certainly coming out of the All-Star break, proving that he should have been there for sure. Pitch to Kelfleisch, swung on and missed. Good live fastball.
Healthy cut from Kelfleisch there. He was thinking right field fence on that one.
Yeah, that's as much open up the hips and turn kind of swing as you see from him. He hits out of an open stance, but he usually straightens it out with his stride, right back to the pitcher with his stride. Next pitch missed outside.
Which is an interesting stance. Usually, if anything, guys will open up more, just have a straight stride, but he goes from open to closed.
1 ball and 1 strike. Kelfleisch is a lot bigger than last summer, too. At least 20 pounds bigger. One pitch, swung on and missed. Good fastball, low in the zone. He's had Kelfleisch a little tardy, maybe even a little over top of him. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Breaking ball swung on and missed. Good mix of pitches by Blake Reem. He is on his game tonight. The Turks need 1 on in the 7th. And at the top of the 8th inning. Braves really got it all working here tonight. 6-0 Staunton over Harrisonburg. Top of the 8th inning, Logan Onda into the ball game. Now the Turks pen. Rare to see 4 pitchers in one ball game for the Turks. Joe, but Garrett Ford, Brett Morgan, Ryan Castellano, and now Logan Onda. And you know, because we've had so many rainouts and all that, if there's anything that you accomplish in this ball game, it's get some guys some work.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, it's funny, beginning of the season, all we needed was guys to get some work, and now we almost have too many guys and too many rainouts to not get them enough work. But here's Onda making his 8th appearance of the season, all out of relief, 3-1 record, 1.08 ERA. Has been our de facto closer, of course, 3 saves on the season as well. 14 strikeouts to 6 walks. Pretty good 2-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio there.
And really, he's normally going to be better than that. He's had a great one here last year. He was like 4-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio. First pitch to McCummings, missed low and outside. On to deals. Hops foul down a right field line. He'll get out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike. Onda has a sign he likes and he deals. Slider swung on and missed. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Had McCummings fooled from the minute it left his hand there. One ball, 2 strikes. On to deals. A little bit low. Not sure if that was a straight change or some sort of sinker or something. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Breaking ball in there for a strike. Called strike 3 on McCummings. Comes Jimmy Radovian now. Radovian has reached base once, still hitless, does have a run knocked in. I think he had the ground ball double play that played in a run. Hop foul, out of play on the fastball to Radovian. Radovian's from Franklin, Tennessee. He plays for West Florida, University of West Florida. The 1 pitch. High with fastball, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Radovian wearing number 42, something you see a lot of the Valley League players, of course. Teams don't have them retired, like the Major League ball clubs.
1-1 slider missed outside. Good job by Radovian to lay off of it. That's definitely Onda's pitch there. Is start it in the plate, run it off the plate, and get some swing and miss out of it. 2-1 fastball, a little high, a little tight. 3 balls and 1 strike. Top of the order, Joey Rodriguez is on deck. Grounded out towards shortstop. Smith takes it on 3 hops. The first is in time. So 2 up, 2 down. One in the first for the Braves, 1 in the second, 2 in the third, 2 in the fourth. A couple of that was Blake Reed throwing a 1-hitter through 7, which he has so far. That's the anatomy of a 6-0 ball game. Chop down third base way, going to be a tough play. Gold comes in barehanded. He'll have no play whatsoever. Rodriguez can run. Gold has got himself a cannon of an arm, but you're not going to get the leadoff guy on that. You might get the 8-hitter. You've got a little Buck Showalter video out there, and Buck has some friendly words for the home plate umpire. Good thing I'm not a lip reader. Those look like some very short syllable words there. Here comes Richie Riccardi. Fastball in there for a strike. Riccardi's the guy who's really had a great night here tonight. He's 3 for 3 and scored twice. Another night at the office for McNeil on deck. 2 for 3 with a run batted in. 0-1. Chop down toward first. Nichols will take it unassisted to the bag. So 1 runner left on for the Braves. And if there is a silver lining in the story, the relief pitching's been quite good for the Turks. They've done a decent job. 4 straight innings, nary a blemish. So, and for the bottom of the 8th inning, Turks going to try and get on the board here in just a minute. There for Staunton. Other scores from around the league of final score for Strasburg Express. They held on 2-1 over the Waynesboro Generals. Those two were in the finals last year. Daniel Nichols leading it all for the Turks. First pitch is high for a ball to Nichols. Top of the 9th inning at Bing Crosby Field. Winchester is batting and leading Front Royal 9-7. Slider in there for a strike.
Lead call there. That's all I will say.
1 ball and 1 strike to Nichols. Hit hard out towards second, taken on a dive to his feet, throw to first is not in time. Heck of a play out there at second base. Certainly was safe on the play, but what a tremendous dive by Jimmy Radovian. He was playing deep already, and he pretty much makes a dive headed towards center, and he's 10, 12 feet behind the skin of the infield, gets to his feet and made that close. Unbelievable play. Infield hit for Nichols, but that's just a devil of a play out there. Second hit of the night for the Turks. Comes Brandon Gold down. Green fires, fastball in there for a strike. Another final score from Casey Field. The Albee Senators take the long road trip and get a 2-1 win over Covington at Covington.
Oh, long ride back. Whew.
Better ride back with a W than an L. 0-1 pitch swung on and missed, and Ream's fastball looked as live as it has all night, right there on that blazer. And we suddenly have a report from Woodstock. We've looked back. The River Band is 7-0 over Charlestown, and they're in the top of the 9th.
Pitching River John.
0-2 pitch gets away, and heading down to second base is Nichols. Slides in. A late slide and a clunky slide. When it's wet here and you slide into these bases, you can definitely have a collision with the base, and he did right there. He's popped up and he looks all right. Man, you just got to get down low and hard. And very early, a full stride early when you're sliding. So Nichols at second, 1 ball, 2 strikes to Gold. Green comes set, and he deals the 1-2. Hit out toward right field pretty deeply. Cummings on the run, and he cannot make the catch. And the ball is fair, so 1 run will score. And Cummings had to go off his glove. He was just barely in the fair territory, slid into foul territory, almost over to the fence. Ball got away from him briefly, but it was just barely fair. That's not. I mean, he made a very long run and a slide, and ends up being a double.
I'm gonna say the Turks got lucky there too. Not only just on the hit by Brandon Gold, but for whatever reason, Nichols was going halfway on that play instead of tagging up. I think with the deep fly ball to right field, Nichols would have been smarter. I mean, I guess he scored because he went halfway, but to me, right off the bat, I thought McCullum was going to get it. Nichols
Let's just say that fundamental baseball was not necessarily top of mind there.
For either team.
For either team, let's say that. It's the Roach, popped a mile high third base side, and caught out number 1. Richie Riccardi on the squeeze for the Braves. So here comes Jesse Baker, going to get his first at-bat. 3 hits now for the Turks. McCummings in right, he was making a heck of a sliding catch, but it just squirted out of his glove, and it just happened to be in fair territory by a foot or two. So it's not like he made a poor play out there. He did not. It would have been one of the best plays in the game if he could have held on to it. It's the Baker fastball in there for a strike. So Turks on the scoreboard, 6-1. Baker has homered once this season. He could make things interesting with a deep fly right here, the way the Turks have gotten on other teams' bullpens. Fastball is low, handled by Ascara back there. 1 ball, 1 strike. A couple of guys getting loose in the Braves' pen. Still behind the barrier, we can't quite see who's throwing there. One to Baker, popped foul, right side out of play. Had a good cut at it. One ball and 2 strikes. Now, Ream has not shown Baker that dandy slider he's got. I would think this would be an opportunity to see it right here. Ream comes set, gives Gold a glance at second, and he deals. Way outside with a fastball. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Thomas Spitz is on deck for the Turks. Turks have been all or nothing with the offense in several games this year. When they get it going, you wonder where it's been all night. 2-2 pitch pops straight back again. Good at-bat here by Baker. Baker had a real nice double the other night. Seemed like that kind of got him going, but it's been tough for him to earn his time in the lineup. He just hasn't played very well at the plate or in the field, which has been a head-scratcher in both cases. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 1 out, 1 on for the Turks, and also 1 in. 6-1 Braves, bottom of the 8th. Green deals. Hit out towards center field, fairly deep. It'll be playable. Gold is tagging and he'll bluff. Good strong throw from the Braves center fielder Rodriguez. So Baker flies out for out number 2. That'll bring up Thomas Spitz. Spitz is 0 for 3. Came in at 308, so I think Spitz has probably dipped under the 300 mark. Slider sweeps outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Brandon Gold at second. His double produced the Turks' only run of the game.
Ream can get this batter out. This will be his longest outing of the season.
popped up down the right field way, called for and caught by the first baseman. There you go.
His previous high was 7 2/3 innings, and now he's gone a full 8.
McNeil makes the play. So 1 run in for Harrison Nurk. Showed a little bit of some signs of life at the top of the 9th inning. Staunton on top of Harrisonburg, 6-1. Top of the 9th inning, Gunnar McNeil will lead it off, and mercifully, the bases are empty.
I wonder why. Hey, it's the top of lead off there.
I guess when he leads off, it's almost a sure thing. Ground ball off the glove of the dive of Nichols. Throw to first is in time. What a play. Baker backed up Nichols, so that's the ever popular 3-4-1.
The word right out of my mouth on that one.
How about that? 3-4 every 10 years. Every 10 years you get that. The first baseman has to dive, get a piece, but not all of it. Second baseman has to make a great play like Baker just did.
If anything, it's usually 1-4-3, like based off the pitcher, and then goes right to the second baseman or shortstop.
Normally, you have the first 2 touches would happen, and then you realize the pitcher didn't cover.
Yeah.
Way outside. Honda lost the handle on that one.
So after I talked about PFP, that's some really good PFP right there, sticking with it and getting over there.
Hunter Thomas at the plate now. Thomas is 1 for 4. Fastball swung on and missed. 1 ball, 1 strike. Tommy Williams on deck for the Braves. Hot foul into the Turks bullpen area, third base side. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The scary part is that the Turks, I believe, have 6 or 7 innings of 5 runs or more this year. I think they're up to a big number like that. It drops some large numbers. They've also had some stretches with 5 or 6 innings of nothing but zeros. Strike 3 on the outside corner. Nice paint the corner pitch there by Logan Honda. Two up, 2 down. And here comes Williams. 1 for 4. 11 big hits for the Braves in this one. Slider swung on and missed. Williams looking dead red. J.C. Escara on deck for Staunton, shin guards and all. 0-1 in there for a strike. A little running fastball, a 2-seam fastball. Honda took some speed off that. I think that pitch has a special name. 0-2 pitch. Popped foul right back over us. Good job by Williams. Spoiled a good pitch on the outer edge. Either someone is ready down in the Staunton pen, Joe, or they've decided, hey, Blake, go ahead and handle it. Try and get your complete game.
Could be a combination of both, see if you can get the first 2 outs and then go from there. And if he starts to struggle, get someone back up. Because you do have a little bit of wiggle room with this 5-run lead.
2 fastball misses up high, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Breaking ball, strike 3 called. So Logan Aga, looking pretty darn sharp, takes care of his business. Turks put, after giving up runs in the first 4 innings, 5 zeros to follow. So the bullpen has done a decent job here tonight. And Blake Ream will, in fact, head to the hill, looking for a complete game. And really, the Braves, obviously, when you're just a couple of games over 500, but hitting 312 as a team, you don't need to be a genius to realize that the pitching has not been the story for that club. But Blake Ream really the exception here. He's doing an exceptional job. And that is exactly why I would have probably pulled him 2 innings ago. Because it is a marathon, not a sprint. And a lot of times the players have already played an entire college season. Many of these guys have played fall ball and had their throwing routines and all that type of stuff. It's just a lot of wear and tear. And,
there's been only 5 complete games this year in the whole Valley League. 2 were done by New Market Rebels Garrett Kelly. The Turks do have 1.
Garrett Ford.
Yes, Garrett. So
Garrett Ford had a 2-1 complete game victory over Woodstock.
So Garrett Kelly, Garrett Ford, Cody Strayer, of the Covington Lumberjacks, and for the Charlestown Cannons, Gene Acevedo. So 5 complete games, and we're looking for our 6th in the Valley League also. Or I don't know if we're looking for it, but Ream is, and the Braves' first complete game of the summer.
Luke Chakowski going to pinch hit for the Turks here. Hitting for Christopher Barr. 6-1 Braves. 6 runs on 11 hits, no errors. 1 run on 3 hits, no errors for the Turks.
Braves did not even have a complete game all of last season either.
Maybe that's why. It's like, hey, we got to get a complete game every other season or so. First pitch to Chakowski in there for a strike. I don't see that Luke's parents are here any longer. Breaking ball stayed up high.
Well, our stats online do not go past 2013, so I can't say if they had one in 2012.
I thought you had parent attendance stats you were going to.
Oh, no.
No, we don't keep those stats. 1-1 pitch, breaking ball stayed up high. Chakowski's having a pretty darn good season. Luke is been over 300 most of the year.
A lot of the attendance dropped off too as the night went on. I'd say 100 people or less.
Or less, yeah.
And I'm leaning towards the left side.
In there for a strike. See, it's not as chilly outside our little two windows, so it's not that. It actually feels comfortable outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Chakowski. Got 16 hits on the season, 1 home run and 15 singles. Fastball swung on and missed, and Ream is looking strong to finish here. Comes Thomas Smith. Turks will be home again tomorrow night as Aldi comes to call.
Somewhat the 3 nice little low-key 2 home games in a row in the New Market. 20-minute ride up 81 Saturday, so.
Fastball missed up high for a ball. All these Senators are probably just passing us now on 81. Their trip back from Covington, if that, exactly. We were trying to think about, well, what can we do for them? Could they sleep here at the stadium or something? Ground ball out to shortstop, out to second base, excuse me, before the first is in time. So 2 up, 2 down.
Or the delay to this game and win this game. I mean, it's 10:30 now, but when we do our post game, you'll provide a little midnight snack on the ride back, halfway snack. I just can't imagine. I'm guessing they're on the school bus. Most teams travel on the school bus. I know the Turks actually been traveling in style so well with the charter bus. I'm not quite sure what they're using this year. I know they had an issue with travel, deal with travel all through, but I just can't imagine being on a school bus for 4+ hours.
I better like the destination, put it that way. Oh, first pitch to Rose, hits Rose, and he's not happy about it. Rose chucks his bat, and Ream said something to Rose, just trying to remind him, hey, I'm not trying to hit you. Look at the scoreboard.
Home plate umpire walks him all the way to first base. That's what that scored.
Yeah, I mean,
I do agree with Ream there. I'm not sure. Maybe Rose just frustrated with the score. I don't think Ream would do that on purpose.
No.
I kind of see what Ream's coming from.
I'm one out away from a shutout. I mean, from a complete game. I'm not going to,
Maybe it was kind of a pain throw down the bat, too. Kind of just like,
he got plunked pretty well.
Kind of like McLean threw his helmet off when he hurt himself, and no one to blame on that. Sometimes the ones where you have no one to blame are the worst ones because you want to have someone to blame. When you hit your pinky toe on the corner of the table, and it's kind of that thing.
That's what coffee tables were invented for, to find the small toe in the
gosh, that's awful.
First pitch to Kelfleisch.
They do a good job of it.
Yeah, they're undefeated champion. 1-0 fastball swung on and missed, and Ream is just throwing extremely well.
Undefeated champion.
Yes, that's why. Just banish all coffee tables. Or have the sense to turn the light on. How about that?
Yeah.
There's that. 1-1 pitch. Hit hard in the right field for a base knock. Kelfleisch was one of the most solid contact hits of the ball game right there.
As you like to point out, always a good baseball sound on that one.
That was classic audio.
Wood on ball.
Roll it up. Here comes Daniel Nichols now. And doggone if he couldn't make it interesting if he hit one out here.
I'm actually excited. When I went home to Colorado, I brought my wooden bat home with me, so I'm excited to hit the cages on Saturday when we get off day.
You brought it home with you, so you had to fly with a wooden bat?
Yeah, well, I actually brought my whole baseball bag from my youth days, or my whole catcher's gear.
The TSA let a bat on a plane. Mm-hmm. You had to check it. First pitch to Nichols is high for a ball.
A nice maple bat. When I played AAU in 8th grade, they actually required us all to have wooden bats. We'd only use aluminum bats during the game. Of course, with wooden bats, you got to have a better swing to square up the ball better, so it's just better to practice. Whenever you hit the cages or batting practice, we use wooden bat for everything.
That's right.
Aluminum bat just for the games.
1 ball, no strikes to Daniel Nichols. Blake Ream going for that complete game shutout. Oh, liner, looks foul. Just foul. Kind of surrounded that one with a swing. Buzz that left hand a little. Nichols is down there shaking out that left hand. Get it in just the right spot. All that vibration heads right up to you.
One of the worst pains ever in baseball.
We used to begin practice. I played at Annapolis High School. Our first practice was always the last week in February. So you can get your tower buzz pretty good, especially if you don't become a good bunter. That's one of the impetuses to learn how to bunt. Grind out towards second base, gobbled up by Radovi, and throw to first is in time, and Blake Ream finishes out a complete game victory for the Staunton Braves. And Joe, this was definitely one where the Staunton offense was they were the story early in this game before we realized that Ream wanted to steal the shot.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. We were talking about, I think Ream may have had an earpiece in too, listening to us, just harping about the offense, just about how good they were. And he's like, no, this is my night. I'm going to overshadow the offense with my complete game, one hitter, and just shut down the Turks.
Yeah, and when you hear the baseball term complete game, you think, okay, that's a term for the pitcher. But this was really as complete a ball game as the Braves have had the entire season. And, Harrisonburg came in on a 2-game downer. The Braves have been hot. The Stars really aligned for this. But the good news for the Turks is tomorrow's another day, the old Scarlett O'Hara line. But, I think that for Harrisonburg, the continuity of the day-to-day action has really been their friend. They seem to be a team that they get into a tempo where there's not a bunch of rainouts or all-star break or whatever it might be. And that's where those 5-game winning streaks have come from.
And, what else is surprising about the scoreboard, something we didn't really talk about, Turks put up 6 runs, no errors. No team had an error in this game. Usually when there's a big run output, it's usually you can thank the Turks for a few errors here and there, but a sound defensive game from both sides. I can only think of potentially one blunder.
The league overall has tightened it up. I mean, the first week of the season I thought was as raggedy a first week of the season, not only for the Turks, and unfortunately for the Turks, who went several weeks into the season playing poor defense, but league-wide, the defense was poor.
And their first 3-game losing streak since, I think, games 2, 3, and 4 of the season, and hopefully Aldi can get in here. Oh, that's why you were saying have Aldi sleep in here, because they're playing them tomorrow night. Just stay over so they don't have to go back. Yeah.
That's right. That's pretty weird that since you didn't put those two together.
I was just thinking you were just trying to be nice.
I was just thinking, I love Aldi. Let's bring them down here for the hell of it. Yeah. But the real suspense, and we're gonna give the Turks give Coach Weiss and even a player a pass on the Lowe's post game show. But the real suspense is earlier on we wrote down who we thought we both wrote down and turned over a piece of paper who we thought would be the player. Now, if you chose a Staunton Brave, wow, that would have really been something. I was thinking Turks.
I was thinking Turks too, and for the Turks, I think I may have picked the player of the game. Maybe you did.
If there is such a player,
there is one too.
I was completely wrong.
I picked Brandon Gold. He had the one extra base hit in RBI,
and he also had 2 great plays at third base. So yeah, you're definitely a whippersnapper 1 and veteran 0 on this game. But it's definitely something fun. I always like to try and pick a player who I think is going to match up well with the guy on the mound. And tonight, no one was going to match up.
We should have played who we thought wasn't going to have a good game because I love Garrett Ford, great kid and whatnot. But you definitely said before the game you just don't think you can match up against the offense. Like you said, you didn't even look at his numbers where the only earned runs, he's the all-star, the only earned runs he's let up all season have come against the Staunton.
And that trend continues.
Yeah.
So all of his earned runs against one team. But a lot of times you'll learn about things and say, well, I don't necessarily like that matchup, and that might pay some dividends later. But the Braves have certainly announced themselves into the race here, and that's for the top spot and for a high seed and all that. They were struggling earlier, but they're playing good baseball now.
I think it's going to be a fun playoffs. Of course, you've been around Valley League. Really part of it. Is it 13th year this year?
Yes.
13th year. I don't know if we can say there's a clear-cut #1 team and #2 team. It's going to be a fun ride down the stretch in the playoffs.
How hot Waynesboro was to start,
and then they've dropped.
How they cooled off.
How high we got, and now we're starting to cool off. And
Trump Royal, it's moving back and forth. Now the Braves are having their up spot. I would think we were looking at kind of a 3-team dogfight for a while, and now it's looking like 5.
I don't think you can put your money on anybody when it comes to this playoffs, and I'm not just saying that. I know that's cliche to say playoffs are wide open, but there's no clear-cut #1 in this league this year, and it. As much as you'd like to see your team be the #1, it does make you just don't know what you're going to get tonight. It's like a box of chocolates, right? You never know what you're going to get.
Forrest.
Yeah.
There you go. Well, Mama says we talked enough about this ball game, but I want to thank all of you for tuning in. Join us tomorrow at 7:10. The Albany Senators, fresh off a victory, they'll be coming down. Harrisonburg will be looking to get back in the win column, but I think that everything just got a whole lot tighter the last couple of ball games in the Valley League. I think that For the Turks, I'm pleased to see Daniel Nichols come back and get some playing time in, one for 4 tonight. And good to see Ryan Castellano get out there and throw again, threw pretty well. Logan Onda, Logan Onda's Logan Onda. He's going to give you a solid effort. The bullpen did a decent job, and the defense was there all night.
Definitely.
So join us tomorrow at 7:10 if you're unable to be here in the building. But looks like the weather's going to cooperate for us tomorrow. For my partner, Joe Kirkendall, I'm Dave Woolman. Have a good night, everybody.